Welcome to the very beginning of RX Only Picture Show with PlusUltra Club number 49.
49, 49, 49.
If you're hearing this, you're either in the room with me or you're watching the rerun. You've just discovered a secret broadcast all about memes. 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 Tell your friends.
We're on, Mom. Thanks for watching.
Poor Tracy has the earbuds in.
I'm sorry.
Maybe not. Maybe she walked away.
Alright.
We gotta fix that too.
Turn the volume down.
Hey, since you're sitting there, you wanna try to adjust that window on the left there? The top window?
Windows.
The top observation window is a little wonky.
Which one? This one? This one. What is that a window? Oh, this one?
Yeah, yeah. That's gonna be where
Everybody's
Simon
coming.
Rivera are. Hey, that mean, but I don't remember. What's it say?
Says massage.
No, that's the other one. Trump
For opera.
getting breakfast.
Getting breakfast? Is that one yours?
Any hair says happy belting arts only. I guess I should be more careful saying that kind of stuff out loud.
Happy what?
Belting.
Beltane. Yeah, I knew it was May Day.
Beltane is the spot between the bell's genitals and their butthole. It's the beltane.
Beltanes. I ain't familiar with Beltaint.
Everything is. Never mind.
Some pretty good memes going on.
Yeah, we're gonna get those closer to last.
Can't wait to talk about some memes.
Understand what I mean?
Yeah. What's up, Snake Jones? What's up, Ludicrous Speed? And Jacob Bacchus. Welcome to the chat.
We're phoning it in this week. Feel free to phone it in with us. And that doesn't mean you can call us on the telephone. That means you can't give 100%.
Gypsy Hustle's here. Hello, Gypsy Hustle.
Should we act less than excited? Hi, everyone. Welcome to the chat again.
We've done this 49 times, right? Ah.
When I'm 49. It's not as many years as I'd like to be from now.
That's true, isn't it?
Less than 10 years. This week, when you see your friends and you think a picture show, say meow. Oh, anybody that's been watching the Owen Benjamin, go check out his most recent episode and listen up to where he's opening the mail and he shouts us out because we sing a cardboard tube full of memes.
It was an excellent shout out, SB.
I got him to laugh out loud with a true belly laugh and a Joe Rogan meme I made. He was happy. I can tell him he was happy.
Maybe we should play that later. You'll find it.
He called me by the wrong
Why is the light on every copper?
She called me by the right name. She called me from her home farm.
That's awesome, dude.
To
You search others on the picture show and then change it to live. We're the only thing. There's only one reason. It's a
Say that again.
If you go to YouTube and search Arts Only Picture Show and then change the settings to specifically only look for live,
It's us?
it brings one result.
Oh, nice,
It's
yeah.
us, you know.
The only Arts Only Picture
Unless
Show
other
that's
people
live.
are streaming as picture show, which I'd be fine with. If 3 or 4 or 5 other guys want to start being picture show, allow that. Unless it's Carlton. Just kidding, Carlton. Whenever you listen.
That everybody's messing with. It isn't even real, but everybody thinks it is.
Should I tag? Should I at Donald Trump on our Arts Only Picture Show promotion tweets?
Yeah, and then we'll just notify the Secret Service, NSA.
You went over to
Carefully
his
notify
town,
you. When you notify everyone, you notify
and
no
you
one.
took each other's pants down.
What if he watches? We should encourage him to watch.
Point in every direction is the same as no points at all.
It was gonna burn your house down.
Oh, Alex is there.
Now you can call me sir.
I just got a message.
Looks like we got more meme meisters joining in. All right, we see you, man. Your microphone is live.
But you must have heard maybe kind of recent placebo
Recent placebo.
that everybody's fucking with. It wasn't even real, but everybody seems to think it is. The recent placebo that everybody's messing with. It isn't even real, but everybody thinks it is. The recent placebo, the recent placebo, it wasn't even real.
Ludicrous Speed says it sounds like a 1980s arcade.
Thank you.
Yes, the music is great.
That's my brother Adam Lore. You can find him on YouTube, ADAMLORE, or on Twitter at Famous Adam Lore. He's a prolific songwriter and an unbelievable artist, especially with pen and ink. He's a comic book artist par excellence, is Senor Adam Lore. I paid $11 to have a really famous comics guy shout him out. It was a great shout out too. The guy that made Earthworm Jim, I can't think of his name. The song's called Black History Month.
Love Black History Month.
Adam Lore and memes go together on Picture Show.
Krista is in the chat. What's up, Krista? Harrison, howdy do. And American One. It's Real Plus at Ultra Hours. Michael Gregory, hello from Heel on Hearts, he says.
Let us know if you found us today because of Owen Benjamin in the chat, because we like what Owen is saying and feeling, or at least Jim and I do. We can't speak for our guests or other people.
Yeah, he showcased one of SB's memes today as he was opening mail.
Yeah, hit the Rogan up button.
Hey. Join the club.
Good copyright. Plus Ultra. Join the club.
Join the club. Plus Ultra.
Y'all join some Plus Ultra.
Where do you
You know what I'm
want?
saying? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
What did you
Come on now.
want when we're so free? How much money do you want?
Let's get it.
Your
Ultra Club is lit, fam. You are currently outside the paywall. That's unfortunate. Grab your debit card.
Psychic green tower. You're like the telepathic daisy, baby, melting the sun. Like the telepathic flower of my mind. Who do you want to kill for me?
Yes, it was the Not a Bomb package, Harrison.
Would you rather
It took him a little while to open it. I think he was a little bit concerned it might have been a bomb.
You realize that it was him. He was the bomb. Blowing himself up.
You're like a
Owen Benjamin, quit drinking today. So should you.
You're my fellow psychic green tower. You're like
I
the
would have quit drinking today, but I'm already been sober for more than a year.
like the telepathic.
So, Ludicrous Pete says that he found us through Opperman Report, the William Ramsey.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, we love Bill Ramsey. We look forward to having him back on soon.
How about those smiley face killers? Bah!
That freaks me out, man.
Yeah, scary.
In a way, talking to Bill Ramsey was the most serious show we've done because
It's unsolved.
warning kids our age and younger what's actually happening. This is funny to look through the tab on Facebook. You might who really likes memes.
Who do you wanna be for me? Where do you wanna go for me?
Oh, Moritz. I wonder where Moritz is at. Moritz is a kid.
How much longer do you want to and we're stranded out in the desert, but it's worth the oasis. Stranded on the desert, but it's worth
So, Jacob Bacchus, is Dat Boi one of your favorite memes? Dat Boi's pretty awesome.
I made a great Dat Boi meme. Dat Boi not welcome here.
Dat Boi not welcome here. Dat Boi's pretty epic as far as memes go. Are you ready to come back on, Tracy?
Give those folks a break.
Okay, yeah.
Let those hard-working writers rest in the green room.
Enjoy the green room. There's carrot sticks,
All juice.
ranch for dipping,
Microwave, that's where it is. Like, where's the food? Like, only juice. No food.
only juice.
You don't want to put anything on your stomach. Just energize with juice.
Juice with no ice. Yeah, Dat Boi was
Juice
awesome.
and little, tiny, really powerful edibles. Wouldn't that be funny? So you eat a bunch of them.
Yeah.
You probably got about 80 minutes. You're so screwed.
You got 10 minutes before comatose
That's right.
pops
Time
on.
to get 3 hours into the show.
Yeah, you're done. I always do crazy.
Good luck getting this song back out of your head ever.
Ludicrous Speed says that once we hit 200 to 250,000 subscriptions, he's unsubscribing.
We appreciate that. We need to make room for more people at that point.
Yeah, that's right. Lavarella 8 is in the house. And happy Wednesday to you, unpronounceable character name.
I'm in shock.
Where'd you get that from?
Facebook.
Facebook.
It's a little diamond.
How does it feel being a top fan?
the AI. The AI just touched me with its magic wand. I don't think it owns something. You know, anything he's eating like a chicken nugget with his wife. Not like, oh, I'm still on the internet. He's out of this one. He's like, I'm done mowing the lawn. I can't have a beer. Bring me chicken.
So what did it say?
It just said that I was recognized because I like his stuff on Facebook.
Very nice. Happy Wednesday to you. Get out of the Matrix. That's a good question, Michael Gregory. Is John D. Sir Francis Bacon? Please tell me. So I guess that means that Shakespeare and John D. might be the same guy too, if that was the case. That's a pretty interesting little tidbit. Yeah. Steven Sorensen, welcome to the chat. It's great to have you.
If you want to get the cool people, you just type meme into the description. Who's that guy that does the I have osteoporosis?
That's a
He's
funny
a
one.
famous account. I just can't think of his name because my kid, one of my kids, my only boy.
You should get the.
Like people freak out on Twitter if that guy follows him. It's like if PewDiePie sends you an email. You go. This song, just so you guys know, this song is always dedicated to Spike Jones. That's the guy's name, right?
Dinosaur Jones?
Snake. I said Spike. That was a mistake.
Spike Jones Snake Jones number
Adam
9.
Moore's music and memes go together. Snake Jones and Dinosaur Jones go together. If you guys start a GoFundMe and come up with $101, I'll bet Adam would take the money and write a Snake Jones song.
How much?
101 bucks.
101 bucks? It's a great deal for a song.
Well, he'd be disappointed. Like, that's a lot of work for 101 bucks. He's still doing it.
Maybe we should get some Patreon money and start funding some songs. New Adam Moore songs. Homunculus? Oh, shoot. I forgot to,
Yeah, you can call. Nobody knows. Don't mention it. Don't mention it.
We're on the air.
We are on the air.
Officially on the air.
Oh, let me get one more page open here, man. We're getting down to where we start counting songs.
Well, Snake Jones said he'd give us 101 bucks for a song.
Well, let me see if that's not enough. I'll match the difference. We'll talk to Adam Moore. Adam Moore used to be pretty famous here locally for writing theme songs, and he actually wrote a pretty famous theme song for Ezra Buzzington, the actor out of Hollywood. It used to be back in the Web 1.0 days. Adam Moore's Ezra Buzzington theme song was on Ezra Buzzington's webpage when you open it up.
Oh, and Jacob August says that iDubbbz is the osteoporosis.
I knew he'd know. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
This whole show is about getting iDubbbz's attention. I want to crowdfund iDubbbz and PewDiePie having a THC Jello wrestling match.
THC Jello wrestling.
Yeah, we can't make it easy. They gotta wrestle to the point of exhaustion in THC oversaturated with Jello. Wait, did I say
you
that
mean
backwards?
like cannabis?
Tetrahydrocannabinol.
Cannabinoids.
Round 2, we can up the ante to lysergic acidethylamide.
Wow, ouch.
I don't want to wrestle anymore. I just want to talk to this flower alone for a minute, please. What am I doing? Oh, I need to. Oh, did I add it? We gotta get that in there. Hold on here. Yeah.
Do what?
Get secret surprise.
Oh, yeah.
We got so many ways this week to dump your money into Picture Show. It's shocking.
You'll be shocked. You'll be pleased. Won't be disappointed.
That's good copy, Jim. You'll be shocked. You'll be pleased. You won't be disappointed.
I need like a stand right here for this thing.
All right, this is gonna be the last song, and we're gonna bust on over here. This is Jim's song. Jim is a sculptor of amphibious life as well as birds, and trumps and Bogdanovs. Huh. He does that. He sculpts frogs and parrots and Trump and the Bogdanovs.
Deep intellectuals.
Your legacy is woo. I was gonna do that louder, but I'm afraid I already tried to blow poor Tracy's ears out. Maybe you had your earbuds out. I made a huge loud noise earlier and then I felt terrible.
I love Joe Biden memes.
Oh yeah. One more click here.
You know, Jacob, I was thinking about doing a Dat Boi, but it has to be 111 feet tall.
Well, that's as high as we can go right now for jobs. If we're gonna make sculptures into bronze, currently it's hard to budget above 111 feet. Structural integrity, well, the price for engineer over that height goes through the roof. Engineers are jerks already. You're like 102 feet. You're like, that's fine. How about 112? And they're like, psh, get out of here. Twice as much.
Twice as much.
What do you think this is? A Statue of Liberty?
Yeah.
All right, that was it. Where's the right one? Is this the right one? Pausing the music, sneaking over here to the button. Okay, we are live with Picture Show number 49. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. That's just sharing the page I was just looking at.
Oh, no.
We're off to a bad start, guys. Hold on. All right, that one should work. Here we are. And now if I just unmute these wonderful guests.
Hello.
Unmute audio. There's Tracy Twyman and Alex Rivera have joined us to discuss memes this week.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
Welcome to
hey
Picture
there.
Show number 49. Trying to make sure that I think that noise was coming from the location that is not here. I was afraid the music was still playing.
The secret location.
Well, yeah, it's the place under the wheel. Tracy comes from the place under the wheel.
Dat Boi's wheel.
Yeah, it is Dat Boi's wheel.
It's
That's what you might think.
Hold on,
Let's see.
let me get to the camera where people, you got to see this here. I'm gonna find us a better. Let's see.
Gonna move that thing around, huh?
Let's see. Oh, I got this thing still showing over here. I don't want to do that.
Don't show that. Sound check begins.
Yeah, there it is. All right, let me get that up on the screen for them to see. Show us one more time, please, Tracy. Sean.
Get big.
Gotta
There
make
it
it
is.
bigger. All right, hold on. Making it bigger here.
Wow.
Look at that, folks. If you've read Genuflect, that should freak you the F out. Look at there's the alchemical wheel in the sky. There's where everything is blended and transmuted into, I don't know, I guess into efficient, bureaucratic, like ecological time, I guess.
Okay. Well, there you have it.
There you go. Yeah, can't beat that. I just started calling that.
Not every show has that.
No, that's the wheel in the sky that's not turning. But yeah, we decided this week that the thing to do was to make memes the title and then just kind of show up. So here we are. We hope you're enjoying what you've seen so far. There's definitely some secret information hiding in that introduction if you go back and listen to it 4 or 5 times at half speed. There's stuff that we hid in there just for you. And let's see what else. Oh, I was going to start with Dat Boi. Unless you guys have something to say, we're going to talk about memes. I was so glad Alex came in last minute. We weren't expecting him, but I consider him to be, well, a meme expert and very insightful on the meme tip. So,
I mean, I like memes. I mean, I don't think I would consider myself a meme expert, but you know.
well, I remember you definitely you had a frog on your show, Freighter Polywog.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, I did a show a while back about that. I haven't done a show in a while, but I did a show about Pepe the Frog and Peck, and I interviewed a friend of mine, but he decided to go incognito and use his magical persona.
Yeah,
And,
it was great.
He uses some sort of I think he had like some voice altering software on a Skype.
Yeah, I remember. I listened to those. They were good. They were great shows. You can find them on Alex's YouTube page, AONI. They're probably on his blog at aoni.com. And it's just talking about the Trump and the Keck and the magic of it all. But I was going to start with Dat Boi because to me, that was the first preeminent frog that arrived. Can you guys think of a meme frog older than Dat Boi that's of any relevance?
Are you asking me?
Oh, anybody. The chat, Alex, Tracy. I was going to start with Dat Boi because to me that seemed like the beginning.
Well, didn't Pepe predate Dat Boi though?
That's a great question.
He did, as far as I know. Because Dat Boi, you think of that as being like early 2016, right?
So let's see, Dat Boi. Well, yeah, that's been. I think it was around. Well, Pepe is based on another cartoon, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Pepe has been around since like 2007 or something. He's been around a long time, maybe 2009.
But were people completely tearing him up into memes like they were starting 2016 and everything? But before that he was already around as Feels Bad Man and Feels Good Man for sure. I remember that.
Yeah, he'd been around as just sort of a nonsensical feel-good character for a while. And my understanding is, I think 2015 or 2016, they, celebrities started tweeting Pepe memes, and then, Trump got in on the action, and 4chan had already been doing it for some time, making it their own. So for a few months at least.
Yeah,
That's my understanding.
I was going to go to knowyourmeme.com, but it looks like they've got some kind of video up here on the screen, and that's just really lame.
That is kind of lame.
There. Oh, it went away.
They don't have any written explanation?
I'm sure
Surely they do.
It was more like a crappy ad. So here we go.
And I
All
don't-
right, let me see if I can get us over to some shared commentary. Get this up here where it's not too large and not too small.
You pop out the chat when you get a second.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'll do that for you too. Or where is it?
They've got a lot of inputs on the memes.
Yeah, the good thing about the Know Your Meme website is that there's no ads, so that's awesome.
There's a lot of commentary on who's
Oh wait, I take that
first.
back. It's all ads. So here we are, Dat Boi. Let's get a little bit of information. Even though Tracy is correct, I defer to her knowledge of memes on Pepe, and he certainly is prior to this. But Dat Boi, a colloquial pronunciation of that boy, is a nickname given to a 3D character model of a green frog riding a unicycle, typically accompanied by catchphrases, plural, like, "Here come that boy," and "Oh shit, what up?" That went viral on social media in early 2016. So, says here the origin of the meme. In July 2014, Funny Junk used... I can't see it. What's it say, Jim? Make it larger.
Funny Junk user the best ever posted a photoshopped image identifying a young boy named Dat Boi as the most wanted criminal arrested as Dat Boi.
Oh, I remember now. Yeah, it's been a while since I looked at the Dat Boi history. All right, this is the... I remember this.
Yeah, that mustache is pretty brutal.
I can see why they got a... they were trying so hard to get him.
Yeah.
So let's say it looks like I graduated from there. So you guys seeing that ad? Is that come bleeding through over there or not? Yeah, a little tiny bit. Lame. All right, I'm going back to our
Pay no
friends
attention
here.
to the ads.
So
You
Tracy,
guys.
I remember part of the reason Dat Boi is a staple for me is because I remember you posting a picture of like either just a unicycle or actually a frog on a unicycle, like somewhere local, like up on a sign for like a car shop or.
Yeah. It was near a place I used to live in Vancouver, and it was you're right. It had turned into an auto body shop, but it had previously been a unicycle store. So there was the sign for the unicycle store was still there. And It was very peculiar looking.
Was there a frog on it or not? I don't remember.
No, it was just like, it was right at the height of the Dat Boi craze.
Yeah.
And so all I had to do was post the picture, and that, inspired people to jump in with Dat Boi jokes.
Right.
And I knew that was the whole reason I posted it, because I thought, well, this is going to get people going.
Yeah. 'Cause
I think I put it on Facebook or something at the time. Now.
yeah, I think you're right. That seems
Such,
right.
such a vertical market for a unicycle shop.
Oh man.
I've never been to one myself. Have you?
So with a unicycle, are you never riding a wheelie or always riding a wheelie? Which is it?
Well,
Both.
you could never leave the ground with even one wheel.
Well, so is riding a wheelie having one wheel up in the air, or is it only riding on one wheel?
I've only ridden.
It's having any wheels up in the air, right? Because even if you do it with a car, which has 4 wheels, then if you put any one of the wheels up in the air, then you're doing a wheelie, right? That's fine. That's what I think.
What do you think, Alex? We're gonna get philosophical on the definition of wheelie here for a second. What about down where you live?
Really?
Yeah, wheelie. Is a wheelie just having any wheel on a vehicle off of the ground? Or would you say that technically would you be riding a wheelie all the time if you're riding a unicycle?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I guess
You
you
have
would be running a wheel, yeah. I mean, the wheel supporting the seat, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think I right now I would have to tend to agree with Tracy, but you could get away with carrying a small wheel with you if you had a unicycle and just hold it up and then you're riding a wheelie. Would you agree with that, Tracy?
Sure. Who am I to disagree?
I know that they don't have training wheels for unicycles. They use like kind of like sticks or like crutches when you first get up on one.
Arm crutches?
Yeah.
That makes sense to practice
Yeah.
with arm crutches.
Really?
Sounds like an excellent way to injure yourself also.
My aunt is an expert unicycle rider, in fact.
Oh man,
Yeah.
can we get her
I'm
showing
sure
off?
she would. I'm sure she would do it.
We need to get her on the show dressed as Dat Boi. Obviously.
It's hilarious when her kids bring a unicycle out, parties and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, okay," and she rides it. It's pretty awesome.
I love the percussion. Whatever percussion we got going on is great.
You just don't see a lot of unicycle riding these days.
You don't. And I guess, let me go back and just in case there's some noobs in the chat, let me go to image search here, and we'll make sure you guys are. I mean, we've all been doing this so long, we've been on the internet so long that we just presume. But it might be that tonight was the first night some 12-year-old Googled in and went to the live settings on YouTube, and they're like, "Oh, memes are cool." So this is Dat Boi, the most traditional.
This is Dat Boi.
Yeah. Oh well, here come. That's
Here comes
nice.
Dat Boi.
This is a meme template. In case you aren't familiar, folks, you'll find a lot of meme templates on the internet where someone's given done the courteous job of removing things that might be in the way of you completing the meme in a new, innovative way. So this is the most famous Dat Boi for sure. Is that one? It's let's take turns reading it. I read it. Here come Dat Boi. Oh shit! What up? How would you read it? When you see it, how do you read it in your head, Tracy?
I'm well. Let's see. I would just say, "Here come Dat Boi. Oh shit! What up?" I would say it in an understated. But that's just me. That's my interpretation.
Right. And what about you, Jim? You look at it. Read it aloud for us, please.
I'd say, "Here come Dat Boi. Oh shit! What up?"
Okay, and Alex,
Yeah.
please perform your reading of Dat Boi for the audience.
What do I have to say?
Well, we just try please for the audience to read out loud the text of this Dat Boi meme, and how does it go in your head? Like for me, like I said, I read it. Here come Dat Boi. Oh shit! What up? That's what I see. That's what I hear in my head when I see this. What's going on in your head when you read it?
Dat Boi. I don't understand the question. Repeat the question one more time. I didn't catch that.
We're just taking turns reading the text of the meme out loud.
Oh.
It's like method acting.
Oh shit! What up?
Okay. So let's see what.
Expertly done.
I think the best treatment of this, which was never a very funny thing in the first place, right?
Right.
But the funniest thing that anyone ever did it with it is when they mixed it in with the Michigan J Frog thing. Do you remember that?
Oh, I love
Now
Michigan
you're
J.
talking
Frog.
about a video or?
Yes, it's a video. I'm going to see if I can find it while we're
Yeah, go
looking
for
at
it.
all these images of the frog.
I mean, here's a mix up of it. That's kind of weird. Look at this, Jim.
Wow.
This is you're getting into like archetypal feelings for me with that. Like I always loved Michigan J Frog. So to me, like messing with Michigan J Frog is kind of like the same as covering Freebird or Stairway to Heaven. Like it's just not advisable. Like if you're gonna do it, it has to be perfect.
He's archetypal.
Yeah. So
It
like,
was done perfectly, actually. I would say.
Oh, I trust your judgment. I mean, if you say it's good, I believe they did it right. I've yet to find a point where me and you are like at odds. Like that's great. Like no, it sucks. It sucks and it's stupid. Don't bring it around me.
I think that's one of my favorite cartoons, actually. Michigan J Frog.
Yeah. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal. Baby, my heart's on fire. Send me your love, my heart. I don't remember the last lines. It's like, and if you leave me,
refuse me, honey, you'll lose me.
That's it. If you refuse me, honey, you'll lose me. They're gonna give us a strike just for me performing it.
Yeah, probably.
That's where YouTube's headed. They're thinking about copyrighted material. Gun them down. So as we're waiting for Tracy to find the video,
Keep waiting. Yeah, I mean, keep moving on.
Keep
That's
moving
what I mean.
on. Oh, maybe we
Keep
should.
moving on.
You know, my second
Keep on
favorite
trucking.
cartoon. Have you ever seen the one where Bugs Bunny's in the woods with it's Elmer Fudd, the hunter, and the hat truck wrecks, and all these hats come floating down and land on their head,
Yeah.
and they take on the persona of whatever hat they're wearing.
Yeah, I remember that. That
Classic.
was a long time ago.
Classic cartoon.
Yeah, that's what we gotta eventually get to watch parties where we're completely private in our own area and our audience can come join us so we can do things like throw on Warner Brother cartoons and we all can sit there and watch and interact and we don't have to worry about YouTube coming up looking like a Nazi and going, "Ticket please, papers please," and then like kicking us off of the train and everything.
They might have gotten rid of it. I hope not.
It might be up there. We'll still wait. Alex, I wanted you to know that we got a lot of good comments and interesting feedback from the Melchizedek show. Thank you very much for presenting all that. I still haven't had a chance to go and like read the PowerPoint yet, but I'm definitely going to go back and do that. But I know I'm the main one that's going to see any comments or interaction from the audience because unless you come back to my page and go to that show and go down to the comments section, even then it's like... Have you guys noticed on YouTube how you have to like click to see the newest comments just for it to show all comments? Does it do that to you guys too? Like it's inconvenient to get to the comments, to the full comment section sometimes?
I've noted that.
Yeah.
Yeah, before.
I mean, there was...
That show, the PowerPoint, I need to give it to you guys, but eventually I'll do it.
Yeah, drop it whenever you're ready, and I'll add it to the description of the show, and I'll probably drop it on our Discord because our fans coalesce there. I don't know. Are you on Discord, Alex? I don't remember seeing you out there.
I don't know. You guys, yeah, I'm sure you guys do that, right?
Yeah, we started Discord about a month ago, and it's gone pretty well, man. There's a lot of interesting stuff in there, a lot of headings, and a lot of strange topics being covered in the PlusUltra Picture Show Discord. There should be a link to the Discord at the very bottom of the description of, gosh, at least the last 5 or 6 episodes. And the main thing is they want you to download the app and or the software on your computer. That's I would say that's the main thing that prevents people from doing it. All right. Well, I guess.
So I'm going to give up on this search. I don't think
All
I'm
right.
going to
Well,
find it.
we'll
I think it's been scrubbed.
We will task that to the chat. Tracy is alleging that there is an excellent mashup of Michigan J Frog and Dat Boi, and currently it cannot be found. So if you are an internet expert, if you're Elite Hacksaw, please find the video and bring it to us. You can DM me on Twitter. You can join the Discord and drop it in there and tell me, and I'll go find the link. But yeah, let's. So I was gonna do the same thing again. Let's do the same thing again and read up on our pal Pepe.
I hear a lot of banging.
Yeah, I hear the banging too.
Yeah.
I just assumed that it's
You might want to mute me for a while.
it's a pizza restaurant. Is that what it is? All right. Well, we'll mute Tracy so we can get a break from the percussion. I wonder how many fans tried in vain up to that point to stick around and just closed it like, I can't listen to one more banging noise. I'm out of here. Pepe the Frog. And at this point, almost everybody on Earth knows who Pepe the Frog is. Is that a strange thing or what? I would have never imagined. Because, like, when's the first time you remember seeing that picture right there? Let's see. Is that one in the? I'm trying to see. That one. I think this is the first Pepe I really remember, like the traditional. Feels good, man. I mean, this.
Yeah.
Tracy is definitely correct that this is going way back. That's going back to far before Dat Boi. Oh my goodness, these memes.
Feels good, man.
Be nice, man. I was looking for feels bad, man. This is feels bad, man, without the text. So I wonder what it says if we just. So I've just got Pepe the Frog in the Google. Nice. The first result is from the Anti-Defamation League. Let's see what the Anti-Defamation League has to say about Pepe the Frog. And I don't know. I gotta risk unmuting Pam Auger here because I don't want to miss what she might have to say. It didn't work. There we go. Unmute. Let her out of jail. All right, so here we go. We're going to read about Pepe the Frog on the Anti-Defamation League site. The Anti-Defamation League, in case you don't know, is a group that polices, they police all over the world looking for hate, and they have a vested interest in protecting Jewish interests. So here's Pepe the Frog, general hate symbol. Now, if you format Pepe like this, I completely agree. That is hateful and disgusting.
Yeah.
Alternative names, Sad Frog.
It could be a joke, though. You know, kind of like sarcastic frog with a little mustache saying, kill Jews.
No, I don't know, man. Of course, it could be a joke, but no one's going to think of it that way, right? Pepe the Frog is a cartoon character that has become popular internet meme, often referred to as the Sad Frog meme, by people unfamiliar with the name of the character. The character first appeared in 2005 in the online cartoon Boys Club. In that appearance, the character also first used its catchphrase, "Feels good, man." All right, well. So, Pepe is, man, Know Your Meme is way down here. That's what I wanted to see was the Know Your Meme version. So, let's bring this back.
So, guys,
yeah.
should I interject here?
Go
I
ahead.
need to change my location. They're about to close this place. So
All right. Well,
I'm actually going to dub out here, and I'll catch you guys in a little bit.
Okay. Well,
right.
we will wait for you to arrive back. See you soon.
Well, don't wait.
No. And we will
just wait with bated breath.
The show must go on. Yeah, I'll put on the intermission sign and throw the Adam Lore back on. And
Bye, Pamela.
Pamela Auger just left the building, folks. And I'm gonna remute her because she's got her percussion section with her today.
Well, that was fresh.
All right, so we've got just me and you and Alex on the screen here, right? Oh no, okay, Alex, you gotta say something. There we go. Oh, nope.
There we go.
There we go. All right, cool. Yeah. Now here we are, a little quieter, a little more serious. So in comparing to the ADL, we've got Pepe the Frog is an anthropomorphic frog character from the comic series Boys Club by Matt Fury. On 4chan, various illustrations of the frog creature have been used as reaction faces, including Feels Good Man, Sad Frog, Angry Pepe, Smug Frog, Well Memed, and honestly, the list is infinite and ever growing. In 2005, artist Matt Fury created the comic series Boys Club, which stars the teenage monster characters Pepe, Brett, Andy, and Landwolf. Yeah, I vaguely remember these guys. There they are. Let's get them all up there on the screen so everyone can see. Dun, dun, dun. Oh. Come on, man. Oh, I gotta scroll. So many ads on Know Your Meme. My goodness. It's insane. I guess if I had the insight to make knowyourmeme.com, mine would be full of ads
some
too.
ads, for sure.
It's not going to work. The ads are just popping up too much. We're going to have to skip it.
Oh, that's terrible.
Look at that. I'm not putting
Well,
video
34.
overlapping.
Oh,
this.
man. Can't you X out the ads? Or they?
You can, but it's just hard to keep up.
There you go.
All right, so let's see.
Maybe I'll run the destruction button.
Oh, man. Make that just a little bit smaller. Maybe you guys can see the original. There's Pepe. There's where he first came into being.
I've never seen this before.
2005, huh? Can you bring that down just a
It was
little
a
bit?
long time ago.
Yeah, there they are. And boy, let me go back here and read. Where was it? Here. It says that's Pepe, Brett, Andy, and Landwolf. I bet those three characters are super jealous about right now of Pepe.
So which one's Brett?
I don't know.
The yellow one?
I don't know. That's a great question. I mean, you'd assume in good journalism this would be from top left to bottom right, but that's definitely not
We're
right.
going from most famous.
Yeah, Pepe. I mean, I'm thinking this is probably Landwolf because he kind of looks like Teen Wolf, so it's probably Pepe, Brett, Andy, and Landwolf.
I think it's the other way around, just personally.
Could be. I don't know.
What do you guys in the chat think?
So, I know that Matt Fury got really pissed and like tried to kill Pepe off, and like hated that everyone was using his comic artistry to reformat into infinite numbers of all variety of memes, like plain Jane crappy memes, all the way to like offensive enough that Hillary Clinton is talking about them during the campaign trail memes. Like, I personally was absolutely astounded at the idea of memes being injected into mainstream politics during the last presidential election. Like, I really didn't think it became surreal. I had to like pinch myself, like wait, what? Hillary Clinton's talking about Pepe, and then Trump is tweeting Pepe from his Twitter account. It's nuts.
Yeah, that goes to show you how sigil magic is was very much a part of that whole season, really.
Yeah, the whole
chaos magic, you know.
I agree.
Yeah, it was totally on purpose.
I mean, because it was only maybe a year prior to that I had heard about or found out about the LS sigil, and because that's probably the most famous and cliche chaos magic sigil.
What's the LS symbol?
Here, I'll get it up on the screen here too. LS, and they call it Ellis sometimes, like the name Ellis.
ELLIS?
Yeah.
Huh.
But if let's see, you know what the LS sigil is, right, Alex?
What is it? The LS sigil?
Yeah. So,
no. What is it?
okay, so here it is. Let me switch these over so you guys can see it. So here's the LS sigil, and you can see it does kind of look like the letter L and the letter S. And what this is a sigil that some variety of chaos magicians all got together and decided that they were just going to push this out into the world to increase the chaos in the world, and that there wasn't any specific. They were just intentionally increasing what I would call static synchronicity. You know, because it's weird enough, like if we're already talking about, say, Freddie Mercury, and then as we're driving in the car talking about it, we go underneath a brand new Freddie Mercury billboard or something. Like, that's a weird sync when that kind of stuff happens. And it happens quite a bit, right? Like, we get a lot of weird syncs, especially when you're on the trail of something occult or esoteric and weird. A lot of the times, weird crap will happen. But they didn't, if I remember correctly, they put this together more like not with something in mind. Like, let's just push more chaos out into the world. Let's put this in bathroom stalls and put it up on the abutments of bridges, and I'll put it on my binder, and you put it on your jacket until it just gets spread around. And so I would say it's a really famous symbol of the most modern chaos magic. Because prior to that, it was guys like, oh gosh, I can't believe his name is slipping my mind. There's a guy that wrote a couple books about chaos magic that usually is the most go-to guy. I just can't think of his name.
Are you talking about Austin Osman Spare?
No, I'd say he's before who I was thinking of. Austin Osman Spare's work on sigils and stuff. Would you say that he calls himself? Did he call himself a chaos magician? I don't know his work that well.
I mean, I'm vaguely familiar with him, but I don't think he really called himself a chaos magician.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Gardner, I think.
It was another guy. Boy, it's a book called, I think it was Liver Null.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, that's so. To me, this symbol and that book is way older than this symbol. I think maybe not super older, and we could click on it and see what's this website say. The linking sigil, abbreviated as LS and called Ellis, is a sigilio or sigis from Latin sigillium, seal, a symbol used in magic, particularly chaos magic. It was developed around 2004 to link locations believed to be imbued with magical power and create a network of energy that can be accessible and harnessed by magical practitioners of any paradigm. The linking sigil was later used in the assault on reality by a group of individuals to rebel against protest and awaken those who were part of the consensus reality, and it is still used by practitioners for this purpose. The symbol is often found within artwork and seen as graffiti. So yeah, I guess I didn't know about the first part, that they, it sounds like they posted it up in some certain areas and used it almost like a internet connection.
Huh.
Magical internet connection.
Interesting.
But yeah. So I would say that if you're just tuning in or you're kind of lost, what Alex pointed out was in the 2016 presidential campaign for the memes to enter into the mainstream political talking points and everything is totally chaos magic, just like walking across your fence line and coming on into a place where it was always there before, but it wasn't addressed directly, you know.
It's like running through the kitchen in your socks and charging up yourself with static electricity to go poke somebody, shock them.
Because, I mean, the sigils were always there. I mean, Hillary's H for I'm with her, Trump's Make America Great Again, the MAGA hat. These are all symbols and sigils that definitely they carry the power of that energy from each candidate. And of course the same is true for your Pizza Hut box and your Pepsi Cola can, and your Coca-Cola symbol is one of the most powerful sigils in the world. You know, we all know exactly what it is. If you think hard enough, you can imagine what Coca-Cola tastes like just looking at the red shirt with the white writing on it, you know.
The Gods May Be Crazy. The Gods Might Be Crazy. You seen that one?
Yeah, that's a great movie. If you've never watched The Gods Might Be Crazy, it's well worth getting. Have you ever seen that, Alex?
No, I haven't. Not yet. I mean, I keep meaning to watch that movie, but I mean, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so you know about it.
It's like in Africa that happened. The movie takes place, and then there was like someone threw a Coca-Cola bottle, right?
Yeah, that's it.
They're like worshiping it as some sort of like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's
like
exactly. So a pilot is flying over
the bush somewhere.
over a bush in Africa, and he finishes off his Coca-Cola while he's flying, and he throws the bottle out the plane, and miraculously it lands without breaking. And one of the tribes people finds it and sees it as a valuable item because it's harder and more well made than a lot of the items and objects they have available. So he starts using it like a hammer. And so then it ends up that people start vying for it and envying it and coveting it. So there's this whole chasing around the Coca-Cola bottle.
It's like this magical thing, and there's only one of them.
Yeah, it's a great example of a
Never seen
MacGuffin. It's and there's not really a lot of dialogue in the movie, so it's a really visual chasing the Coke bottle around with the tribes people, and then you've got the typical the white folks. Maybe it wasn't in Africa. Maybe it was in the bush. I think it's Australia. Yeah, because they've got the white folks driving around in their like 4-wheel drive Jeeps, and they're involved too, and it's almost like a Keystone Capers. But a MacGuffin is like the item that's in a movie or a story plot that the lead protagonists are chasing after, like the Maltese Falcon or the suitcase in Pulp Fiction. And so that Coca-Cola bottle is a great example of a MacGuffin. Yeah, so let's move on here to, I think we all know about Pepe. The next thing I was going to do was bring up the Groypers. Let's see if we can learn about the Groypers. Do you know about Groypers?
No.
No, you never heard of Groypers?
Never heard of Groypers.
Search the database. Groyper. Groyper. If you didn't know, folks, if you're just learning about memes for the very first time tonight, almost all memes can be traced back to 4chan or 8chan in the modern era. Now, prior to that, we used to call them image macros. The definition of the word meme is actually from Richard Dawkins, the famous pretentious asshole atheist.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a fair description of Dawkins. I mean, that's actually being pretty polite. I personally just can't stand Dawkins. Can't stand him.
I recently heard he was talking about how we should eat human meat.
Yeah, he's
erase the stigma.
As if it's bad enough to act as if it's an easy decision to say God doesn't exist, which just isn't the case. But then, not only that, you go watch some of his clips or look him up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got molested when I was a kid, and it didn't hurt me." And then like, "Hey, you guys should sample some human meat. That would be the best thing to eat." And like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So sometimes I wonder if you absolutely reject any idea of God, gnosis, spirituality, higher power, invisible powers, if it defaults you into something like devil worship without knowing it. Because, I mean, like, what are you doing? What do you mean child abuse isn't bad and eat human flesh? Hold on, Rich. Thanks for the word meme, but let's back off of these other subjects.
Yeah, it's interesting how they reject, any concept of deity, and then pretty much anything goes with these people, So.
Yeah, it does seem to go together, because I try to have an open mind and some love in my heart for everybody, but it's once you start, your action starts to demonstrate negative things or questionable things, then it's the beginning of the process of me stepping at least a couple inches away, like, ew, Dawkins, don't eat the pinky toe, or whatever,
It's easy to live a satanic life and not know it, and it's impossible to live the opposite of
He was supporting cannibalism? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, well, I remember seeing that too. We'd have to reference it to know for sure, but I remember something about him saying that. What was it, Jim?
It may have been in reference to eating genetically, like, cloned human meat, where he said that you should eat cloned human meat because that would, I forget exactly.
Well, it's because it would be the ideal thing for the human body to process, like the way that the body breaks things down. What it would recognize as most effective and efficient would be that. So that maybe it's in that vein. So I'm gonna move on from Pepe the Frog here to the Groypers. This might be where we're starting the process of getting away from memes that everyone in the audience might know. It says Groyper refers to an exploitable illustration of Pepe the Frog resting his chin on interlinked hands, variations of which are commonly used as profile avatars among the alt-right and new right on Twitter, and the alternative social networking service to WrongThink. I've never heard of that one. You guys ever been on WrongThink?
No.
No.
No, what is that?
I don't know. That's not linked, so that must be some... It's a place for the alt-right to hang out. The earliest known use of the word Groyper on 4chan was in a post submitted by user Big Dog Groyper. Ooh, what happened? It jumped me into full screen. You didn't do that, did you?
Oh, no. So, Richard Dawkins said on his Twitter, "What if human meat is grown? Could we overcome our taboo against cannibalism? An interesting test case for..."
Hold on. That might be Tracy.
Consequentialist
Tracy!
morality.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. We got to get out of here.
Hi.
You're screen sharing, so please be careful. I don't know what happened, but you came in and it was screen sharing. And so, like, don't go to your all my saved passwords screen or anything. I'm trying to get it back out of full screen here. Zoom does this to us sometimes, folks. I mean, there's we love this better than Hangouts and better than Skype. I do, but the full screen function wants to snatch the whole control away from me, and then sometimes takes a minute to get back. Okay, you should be all right. We should be all right.
I'm going to have to do audio only, I guess, for now, which is fine by me.
Okay.
It's fine by me. I don't know how you feel, but it's fine by me.
Yeah, we see you a lot, so it's okay. You don't have to always be on camera. It's
just because there's not enough USB connections on the computer that I'm using. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, honestly, that's a deal breaker for a lot of people. Like, I know Adam Lohr wants to come back on the show, but we're going to, like, come up with an incognito system. And the first time we did an interview with him, he just kind of stood off camera because he just didn't feel like being on camera, so I totally understand.
I was thinking a veiled sombrero.
Yeah, I would totally want to do the veiled sombrero for sure. I think that is an awesome idea. So maybe I didn't even have the Groypers on the screen. I'm gonna start over with the Groypers since we have Tracy back here. Just read these
the
paragraphs
Groypers.
one more time. So, a Groyper refers to an exploitable illustration of Pepe the Frog resting his chin on his interlinked hands, variations of which are commonly used as profile avatars among the alt-right and new right on Twitter and the alternative social networking service WrongThink. Now, I guess we could ask again, Tracy, have you ever heard of WrongThink?
I have.
So,
It's like all the others. I just felt like it was not. None of these things really help with the problem, which is if you're being shadow banned, then joining a club for people that are outside of the norm and not acceptable doesn't help you get in there. So,
Yeah.
it's great that it's there, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just had never heard of it. So the origin of the earliest known use of the word Groyper on 4chan was in a post submitted by user Big Dog Groyper to the R9K board on February 28th, 2015. Pardon me. So the Groypers haven't been around for that long. The earliest known variation of the Pepe illustration was submitted to a thread on 4chan's V board on March 25th, 2016, shown below. It's currently unclear when the illustration was given the name Groyper. So that's an interesting thing that happens on the boards, that two disparate or separate things from each other somehow become one thing. So they're saying they know when the name popped up, they know when the picture of Pepe modified to have his chin resting on his hands popped up, but they don't know when they became one thing. So I would say that kind of still ties into the idea of magic, wouldn't you, Alex?
Yes, I would say so.
So I'm gonna go ahead.
Yeah, how do you pronounce that character's name again? Groyper?
Yeah, Groyper.
Okay.
And, I mean, if you wanna, if you're not easily offended and you want to have a good laugh, just go to Twitter and type in Groyper and go find some of the Groyper accounts and follow them, and they're just hilarious. But they are lewd, crude, unacceptable, sometimes bigoted and racist. But it's usually the same kind of trolling, shitposting sarcasm that you see on the boards. There's thousands of Groyper accounts.
Hey, I want to read you guys something.
Go ahead.
Oh.
This is from Carl Jung's The Seven Sermons of the Dead.
Okay.
So I mean this whole poem basically about Abraxas, right? But I'll just read you like one small part of it here. It says, Abraxas begetteth truth and lying, good and evil, light and darkness, in the same word and in the same act. Wherefore is Abraxas terrible. It is as splendid as a lion in the instant he striketh down his victim. It is beautiful as a day of spring. It is the great Pan himself, and also the small one. It is Priapos. It is the monster of the underworld, a 1,000-armed polyp coiled knot of winged serpents, frenzy. It is the hermaphrodite of the earliest beginning. It is the lord of toads and frogs, which live in the water and go up in the land, whose course ascendeth at noon and at midnight. So it's saying that Abraxas is the lord of toads. So
Yeah. No, that's perfect. That's exactly why I was excited when you popped up in the DMs, because it's like, your insight is invaluable, man. And I would say that of course that goes with all the Jordan Peterson came busting out into the scene, not only talking about because of trans the verbiage and the compelled speech allegedly surrounding trans and everything like that, but also immediately started glomming onto the idea of Keck and the frog and everything, because people were comparing his voice to Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
And so there's like a video with him and I think it's Jonathan Pagau who's a pretty cool Orthodox sculptor, carver guy. He does some. His stuff to me is kind of like it's light, in comparison to a lot of the heavier and deeper stuff, but it's still good. But the god of chaos, the idea of amphibious being similar to trans or hermaphroditic.
Well, I mean, I would say Pepe, I mean, is more of a trickster god. I mean, yeah, I'm sure he has some hermaphroditic symbolism there. And as for Jordan Peterson sounding like Pepe the Frog, I mean, yeah, there's several people have made that joke. And they also love compared to him. I mean, yeah, he's obviously very much, enthused or in love with Carl Jung, and I don't blame him. I mean, Carl Jung's a pretty cool guy. He has a lot of interesting things to say. But I think someone compared to him to Origen. He's the Christian theologian, church father of the 3rd century. But he was eventually, rejected by as a heretic by the Catholic Church.
Yeah,
so.
I reject their rejection, and the little bit of Origin that I've read and studied up, I really like Origin. Like, he seems straight up to me. I don't understand the justification for calling him a heretic.
Well, I mean, he uses a lot of Platonic ideas more than the Catholic Church is very comfortable with. Just put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I mean, I guess it kind of undermines their model. Origin believing in, I know he believed in reincarnation and also believed in reincarnation even to the point where everything ever would be saved and redeemed by God. So even the devil himself would not be under eternal banishment or destruction or punishment, but instead would one day through incarnation after incarnation be redeemed. If I remember correctly, isn't that right? I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah, there's a term for that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, come from
apocastasis or
pretty
something.
much. Yeah, like everything is, returns to the all.
Yeah.
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 But I know. Yeah. What'd you say it was again?
I don't think that's right. I said apocastasis, but I don't think that's right. I remember.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
I remember you and another very scholarly Gnostic and or Hermetic guy talking about it. It might have been you and 2 other guys kind of debating whether or not your own gut feeling was is it going to happen or not. I remember hearing about it in one of your broadcasts.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think I remember that conversation. There was a guy. His name is Carl James, but yeah, I mean, I interviewed him like I don't even know, a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half. I forget, but yeah, he was saying that. Well, he didn't really believe in the idea because he thinks that this world. I mean, yeah, even though it's in a constant state of flux, yet at the same time still will continue. Like as long as people have babies, I mean, I really don't think everything will return to the all. I don't know. I mean, it's very hard to say though. When that event will happen. I mean, where are we gonna experience the apocalypse first? I mean, like described in the Book of Revelation. I mean, you can take that text in so many different ways, So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's completely literal, but I mean, to say that, who's to say when that event is going to happen? So, I mean, I don't know. It's very, very hard to say.
Yeah, that's what. Well, I mean, I understood his point philosophically to be that. If everything returns to the all, then that's essentially the same as it being void or nothing, So that would be like an ending. And so even if it did happen, we would just have to start over again because God once again is going to move and allow creation to move. And I made up a quote one time. I've got it written down somewhere, but it was like, what did the yin say to the yang, or what, why don't we become one again? And then Yang answered, because then we couldn't swim, right? Like, because if we're two, we can swim, we can move. There's a symbol of movement, and as soon as the yin and yang become only one thing, then it appears to be nothing, even if something's there, like a magnet. A magnet seems like it's dormant until you put a piece of metal next to it. So that would be the same idea in my mind works. Like if God goes completely back to oneness, then it's as if nothing. So the process next would be for God to decide again to move, which would be the same as him having never held still. So I get that. I understood the guy's point pretty good that way, I think.
Yeah, there's another heretic. His name is Basilides, and I guess you could say, for lack of a better term, he created the whole Abraxas concept, really. But he calls the all non-being. He says that. So we're eventually all going to return to a state of non-being. Because we exist now, but we're going to not be.
Right.
Eventually.
Yeah, and that's I remember listening like 7 Sermons for the Dead isn't really a very long text, is it? I thought I listened to the whole thing like I was cleaning up my kitchen in my house one day, and what I took away from it was the idea that Abraxas represents the chaos and order as a whole, and it represents the parallel polarized parts of it, and that if it all goes back together in completely matching sets, then it's, once again, like you said, it's the void. It's as if nothing, It becomes the nothing,
Right, yeah, I think it says that the pleroma is basically like both existence and non-existence at the same time. So kind of weird.
Yeah.
That, all polarities come from the same source. If that's what, that long poem seems to be arguing for.
Yeah. Have you read it, Tracy? Are you still there? Paging Tracy Twyman. Tracy Twyman to the front of the meme show, please.
Oh, I think she left.
Oh, all right. Is she bailed? Maybe she had to bounce. That's okay. I just that's always a good spot to jump her in when we're on the like fringe edge as far as you can go. What do you think? So I'm gonna go on just a little bit more with the Groyper here. March 31st, 2017, and this goes right with what Alex just said, folks. Let's see. Actually, I'll get the Groyper back on the screen for you before we continue. Here we go. All right. So there he is. There's the most famous Groyper. And it says, March 31st, 2017, a 4chan user replied to a thread on Poll about Pepe the Frog saying, quote, Groyper is a toad. He's friends with Pepe. So that, to me, that fit right in. We transitioned from Pepe to Groyper. Alex Rivera reads a little bit of Carl Jung pointing out that Abraxas is the father of all frogs and toads. And here we've got frogs and toads literally developing on the shitposting Chan boards right around the same time that it's entering into mainstream politics. And now it's such a part of our lives that most of us can't even imagine it not being like it is now. Like, crappy cartoon frogs are just a part of life. 10 years ago, we'd have been shocked to see one on a billboard. If one's on a billboard tomorrow when you're driving to work, you'd just be like, huh.
Frogs are the harbingers of change. They live in between water and land and, water and air. They live half their lives in the water. They live half their lives on, outside of water, breathing air. So it's, they come out in the morning when it changes from nighttime to daytime. They're right on the cusp of a dramatic change, and that's what's going on in our world right now. We're on the cusp of this new world order sort of thing going on.
Yeah, and I feel like it's going on like they're moving out of theory and practice into full-blown theater of digital and now IRL war. We're like it's. And I keep telling people too. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but if you study the first Enlightenment, Illuminati revolution with all of the weird divergence, it all started. It all started with the French Revolution. And so I see this as like with Notre Dame, especially as like the shot across the bow. It's like French Revolution 2.0 with all the yellow vests. And after the French Revolution and the first time around came the American Revolution. So it makes me wonder if they're not going to try and have an American Revolution next. And it just sure makes me wonder, makes me wary. Because we have a lot more guns over here than they have in France, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see it that way too, Alex? You think that, I mean, are we slowly seeing the unfolding of what we've always been told is a new world order, all that kind of stuff? It seems like we've moved out of speculation and into consistent action lately.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hate to say it, but I mean, kind of seems like Trump is sort of like a force that sort of sparked, really accelerated. I mean, the so-called New World Order. Really, I mean, yeah, he's very pro nationalism, but at the same time, like now all this stuff has exploded into the mainstream. Like you have social justice warriors, you have Antifa, you have the transgender movement has like exploded like to the mainstream like in only a matter of like what, since 2015 it's been popularized by what's his face, you know what I'm talking about, the former athlete, the Kim Kardashian dude.
Yeah. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Caitlyn.
Yeah, Kate.
Yeah, he's she's
Bruce Jenner. Sorry, Bruce Jenner. Yeah,
I think she's still going by Caitlyn.
Yeah.
I was honestly not super shocked to find out that it sounds like Caitlyn has not continued on with the sexual reassignment surgery and intends to not do so, to go ahead and keep the male genitalia but still identify as a woman, that's like trying to push pause on the liminal space. Like, there I am receiving my diploma. Oh, stop it right there and frame it. That's all I want. I don't want to actually go on and like get a job and go to work or whatever. Like I'm gonna stop right there. Nope. I mean,
I guess the idea of being castrated scares him or her or whatever.
Here, yeah.
And or he or she identifies with. And it's hilarious that there was this one, I was watching this video, this lady, and she was saying that she calls babies nowadays. Like you can't say the word baby because you're like stereotyping them with the gender, because they have to tell you what their gender is. So they call them a baby.
Baby?
So, baby? Like THEY? Yeah, that's so...
Yeah.
It makes me wonder how much of this is just media propaganda, and then people like even us talking about it now, like we're just offended or we're curious at the minimum, and we're like, what the hell? And so we repeat it. And I wonder if it's not propagating more that way than it is actually people believing it. But then I do see people actually believing it too. So it's just it's
a sensational distraction.
Yeah, it screws with your head. Like, they be... Like, you can't tell kids you don't... Like, they definitely are by sex, one or the other. The vast majority of people are born one or the other, not both.
As a kid, you look to your parents to figure out who you are. You don't have an identity yet, so if they're like, well, we don't know yet.
Yeah, it's really
what you are.
Babies. That's so strange. So, well, here, let's continue on here. Let's not get too far on the trans path. So, July 28th, the YouTuber Savicast uploaded a video titled "Groyper Mesmerizes You to Sleep." Redditor Depressing Midget posted a variation of Groyper merged with the character Wojak. Oh, Wojak. We should throw Wojak up here.
Yeah, Wojak.
Some people might not know the name of Wojak. He seems to be pretty popular across the board, that guy. He seems kind of to hit both sides. I would say the Groyper, people calling Pepe neo-Nazi or alt-right or right-leaning, I say is completely inaccurate. Like, Pepe is like a blank, neutral template that people, can use for whatever. But the Groyper, I would say, this thing, if you see this on Twitter or on the internet, somebody uses it as a handle, if anything, they're at least LARPing as a right wing shit poster. You know, if you're representing yourself as a Groyper, then I would say that's accurate. To say that means alt right, that might mean that they have strong nationalist leanings. They might even be openly racist or fascist. And so here's some. You see these here at the bottom. These. I don't even. I've got us on Alex. So there we go. Here's some variations. So I was gonna go straight to Apu Apustaja after this.
That's all the same.
Yeah, those are all versions of this Groyper here.
Of Groyper. Oh, yeah. So what's he thinking?
I think that's the reason. I honestly think that's the reason that blew up. That's just my gut feeling. You know, I don't have any evidence of that. I don't know how we would verify it. But I think the idea that he looks contemplative, he's giving the sidelong glance to the imaginary camera. His legs are at ease; they're not crossed. He's like patiently waiting because that's the pose I make when I have 4 aces in a poker game and everyone's trying to not bet and I raise, and then I do that like.
He's saying felt cute, might usher in the new world order.
Yeah, felt cute, might usher in a new world order later. I don't know.
It might delete.
So, do you know who Apu Apustaja is, Alex? Have you ever heard of that next iteration of this?
No, I feel like I'm talking out of ignorance. No, I don't know.
So the only reason I really know all this stuff is because I'm a curious boy who can't stand to see like a new iteration. Like they keep changing Pepe, and then you see something new and different. Like it's not like just a variation of the same old Pepes or other memes. It's something completely different. And so then I immediately just have to Google it. Like, what is this? And so I would call Apu Apustaja like developmentally disabled Pepe. Sometimes I think of him as special needs Pepe.
Potato Pepe.
Yeah, exactly. Potato Pepe. So let's see what it says here about Apu Apustaja, and it says in parentheses, helper in English, is a poorly drawn variation of Pepe the Frog created in the style of Spurdo Sparty. Okay, now it's getting deep. You guys know who Spurdo Sparty is?
No. Who's Spurdo Sparty?
Okay, we'll have to go to Spurdo next. Let's not digress too fast. So he's another meme. While originally popularized on the Finnish image board Yilautu, is that right? I can hardly see it. I'm kind of far from the screen here. Yilautu. So that's a Finnish image board. The character is also frequently posted on 4chan where he is referred to as Helper. I always see him referred to as Apu. The character is rumored to have originated from the Finnish image board Yilautu. While no archived thread exists, Google search records indicate the phrase Apu Apustaja began appearing on the site in January 2016. So he's a pretty young meme too. You can't put old memes into new meme skins. Oh, sorry. So let's get a little bit more detail on Apu here, on Helper. On January 14th, 2016, the Apu Apustaja Facebook page was launched. March 25th, an anonymous 4chan user submitted the Apu Apustaja version of Pepe, captioned with a misspelled sentence about a food helper to the random board. Okay, so that's this here. Apparently, if we click on that, if I click on it, it'll bounce to another window, so I'm not going to do it. The following day, a similar thread was submitted to /B in which the character complains that his food helper was missing, shown below right. Oh, I see. So essentially what we're getting here is somebody's figured out how to take Pepe, make him into an autistic shit poster, and complain that he's not having his chicken tenders delivered fast and effective. I think that's what we're looking at. Does that seem right? That seems right, isn't it? My helper isn't here.
Yeah.
My 15-year-old was telling me that he saw where did he say it was? Somebody was posting up that copy pasta of complaint, like, my mom brought me my tendies and I was so aggravated that I slapped him out of her hand and the tendies flew everywhere, and like Hey,
Candies.
it's Pamela Auger. She's back.
Hi.
Hi, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I've given up on every other option I had, so here I am.
Now
What
wait,
are
were
we,
you talking about
are-
internet connections or things to do other than picture show?
I'm just talking about ways to join you. I've been rebooting computers and trying different, connectors and things.
We all really appreciate you
Yeah,
trying
we're-
hard, and of course I'm just
so
kidding,
glad you
know.
made it back.
Yeah, we are super
Cool.
happy to see you, Tracy. And I mean that with
You're
all
do-
of my heart.
You what now?
I said we're super happy to see you. We're excited that you're back.
So you're probably off the topic of frogs, but did I show you guys my frog yet?
No, let me
You
get
might
you
have
on
seen
full
it.
screen here so everyone can see it. I'm gonna. Okay, just a second. Let's see. Okay, you're a little bit to one side there. There you go. There he is. All right.
You see what I'm doing in my hand too? I didn't mean to
Yeah,
do that,
perfect. That's somebody screen capture that so that we can have that way we've got all of the memes that we can fit into one meme. We've got 666, White Power, Pepe the Frog, Baphomet. It's all right there if you have eyes to see.
Praxis.
Abraxas, yeah, exactly.
Nice.
And if you don't have eyes to see, it just looks like a lady holding up a toy frog, smiling.
It's not a toy. It's a stone. It's supposed to be some kind of ritual device. I got it from a hippie shop in the 90s.
Oh, that's
It's
right.
called Third Eye. This was back when there were head shops that didn't actually sell weed. They sold devices for smoking weed, and then they would try to floof out their inventory with little other incense burners and various gadgets and
Yeah.
whatnot.
There was some. I remember there was an awesome head shop in the U District in Seattle, and you had to call it a water pipe, or they would literally boot you out. Like they would relentlessly check your ID. Like get out your IDs, kids. Get out your IDs, and there's signs everywhere that say, water pipes only or some crap like that. And if you're like, hey, I want to see that bong right here, they're like, you say that one more time, kid, and we're going to kick you out of here. That's a water pipe for smoking tobacco. Don't be, right? But then the whole head shop would be full of corny stuff, like what Tracy's holding in her hand and all kinds of other goofy, almost gag gifts. Sometimes there'd be porno items, maybe not full-blown porno shop stuff, but sexy underwear or weird kinky clothes and stuff, head shops. They're almost a thing of the past because of the legalization of marijuana. It's not quite the
Not
same.
in there's probably half of the states still have them.
Yeah.
But it's what you don't realize, guys, if you're living in one of those states, is that the rest of us have already moved on. There's a totally different culture and world. And it doesn't even matter if you're involved in it or not. It has an effect on the culture and world that you're living in. So anyway, the reason why I bring this is because this is like a Hecate statue from, one of those frog goddesses, I think, in the Egyptian pantheon. But one of the important Kek memes involved this very object. Well, I mean, this is pretty much almost identical to the one that was in the meme, where they were saying, the person who made the meme said they had found a Egyptian statue of a frog goddess and or god, I guess, and that was Kek. But in reality, it was a picture of this Hecate thing, like I'm showing you here.
Okay, so wait, so you're saying that's a mistake? I didn't realize you said that earlier, and I didn't completely catch it. So here, let me get it up on the screen so people can see, and let me confirm
Okay,
that
so
I'm almost there. Here, shared commentary, and all right, do you have a playback? Are you able to see us too, Tracy, on a different monitor or something, or?
I can.
Because
But you need to. I mean, this is kind of part of the whole lore. That this one meme came out. This is when they figured out that the frog is this Egyptian god. But in the meme that first put out that idea, it was actually a statue just like the one I was showing you of Hecate. And then they showed some Egyptian hieroglyphs that they thought showed a person sitting at a computer enjoying a meme. And this was these hieroglyphs were somehow connected to the image they were showing. And they thought, well, this means that it was meant to be, it was magic all along.
Right, and it's the one that I've got on
the prophecy of Keck.
Right, it's the one I've got on the screen here now, right? That should be the right one.
Let me see. Okay, yeah, so that's him, or yeah, I mean that's the same object I have here.
But that's not Keck.
Or it's identified in Egyptology as a separate god or goddess. I think it's pretty much the same, but
because I know
I
Keck
tend to be a
was
syncretist,
Keck has a female counterpart, and I can never remember her name because it's supposed to represent one day and one night, and they're like male and female. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
So I've heard.
Yeah. So.
And probably, I'm going to look up Prophecy of Keck, and if I see the one I have in mind, then I'll let you know.
Okay, cool. So just to catch you up too while you're doing that, we graduated from Pepe to Groypers, and Groypers is like the kind of smug-looking frog with his chin resting on his interlaced fingers. And I was telling everyone that I thought that's a more accurate symbol of an alt-right frog. The Pepe is really pretty neutral, but the Groypers, like there's a lot of people that use the Groyper account. I'd say the Groypers and all of the anime avatars, you see those guys kicking it together on Twitter, on Gab, on the other places. You might even see them pop up on Facebook, but not too much. And then from there, we moved on to Apu Apustaja, which is like, he kind of looks like developmentally disabled Pepe. And he popped up on, what did it say, a Finnish meme board. And I find the Apu memes really funny. Like he's got his face all screwed up. He's kind of poorly drawn. Maybe we could, I think I still have him up here, so.
And I just put in the chat, in the YouTube chat for this show, a link to the Prophecy of Keck image I'm talking about.
Cool. Okay, and just in case you've never seen the name in the picture correlated, Tracy, that's Apu Apustaja. Some examples on the screen right now. Looks like there's a Homer Simpson one or a Grandpa Simpson. Yeah, Homer Simpson one. Like oh, that's funny, a Harry Potter one.
Okay. Ooh. So, do you remember that GIF I sent you a while back that I had made for PlusUltra? Right, it was back. Actually, Alex will recall when I was formulating the idea of bringing back the concept of PlusUltra, which had been a podcast in around 2005, 2006. And I was thinking, well, maybe it should be a website and a community. And I'd made this GIF of, it was from a film called Arcana. That's I think, Italian movie.
Yeah, where they're spitting out the little frog.
They're spitting out frogs. Where this lady is spitting out frogs. She's part of a witchcraft ritual. And the frogs are coming out of her throat, and she's spitting them out. What I'm looking for now, I'm trying to find this quotation, but the book is that I have here, Worship of the Generative Powers. Okay. And I'm trying to find the quote that's about the roles that frogs had in the witches' Sabbath in European witchcraft. And what I recall it saying was that there would always be frogs, and sometimes they would be sacrificed and stuff, but at the beginning of the rites, there was a pond full of frogs, and the children that were part of the cult, that was their job during the Sabbath on, last night was Walpurgis night. That would have been the night that this ritual would have been held. And anyway, so
Not
there
last
was the
night.
Yeah,
Sorry.
well, Spurgisnacht was last night, and then today is Beltane. So if you're pagan and you're listening, and happy Beltane to you. We definitely take note of the holy days as they go by, whether we celebrate them or not. And I've definitely felt the thinning of the veil. I think everyone that I'm exposed to right now in my life is all feeling a little bit off. So I was joking with Jim that if Halloween is death dead, then Walpurgisnacht and Beltane are death alive. That's
Is Beltane sort of a new year celebration, or just?
I don't think it's
cyclical?
celebrating the new year.
nah.
Well, wasn't today where the Illuminati was actually formulated?
It was absolutely Adam Weishaupt started the Illuminati on this day, 1776. It's a
USSR or Soviet Union was founded on May Day, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is May Day is a huge deal. So maybe we should type Beltane in there.
When I was a kid, my mom used to have me take flowers and drop them on people's doorsteps on May Day.
I did that today. I went
Did you?
and knocked on somebody's mom's door at their behest and left behind some fresh cut flowers from our front yard right before I arrived here to do this number 49 episode.
That's a nice thing.
Oh, nice. What a good boy you are.
Glad my mom doesn't watch the show. She'd be like, "You brought who flowers and not me?" If you search through the archives, folks, there's an episode of us live downtown Walla Walla for the second annual Adam West Day, and as a complete synchronicity and a coincidence, while searching for my brother Adam, my mother arrives unscripted in her car, throws open the door, and offers us a ride.
Yeah.
And so we say yes, and we pile into the car, and then she drives us to go meet Adam, and in the process, she tells me that she does not think that the Earth is flat, and no, she's never watched an episode of the show. So, all right, let me switch this over to the main screen here. There you go, Tracy. That's on the big screen now. So,
Okay, so do you guys see that? Those are the kids at the witches' sabbath that are tending to the pond full of frogs.
yeah, I see it for sure. Trippy,
So there you go.
and that would have been
That's what the kids are supposed to do.
that would have been last night, right?
That's what they were doing last night.
If you kids don't get your chores done, we're gonna sacrifice you like we did your brother.
Gotta find me some eyes of newt.
It's just crazy.
Yes.
I'd really love to
So-
think that child sacrifice is really rare and that it doesn't really happen, but I think I might be wrong, unfortunately.
It's the only kind of sacrifice there is. I mean, that was the first, right? That's everything else is based on that. Everything else is a substitute for that.
Yeah,
It's true.
Because-
It's
that's
true.
true.
That's why God, for whatever weird reason, has to sacrifice his kid for everybody, and that's why ancient man thought that that's what he wanted. I don't know. I don't understand it, but it's definitely consistent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it says that that blood is required to atone.
Oh, yes.
So something's lacking. What you need to make up the difference is some blood. That's what it says.
Everything's a sacrifice. You gotta sacrifice sleep to go to work. So the ultimate sacrifice would be your kids.
Crazy.
I was
It goes
just reading
back
about
to
the blood atonement in the church, in the Mormon church. I'm sorry, Alex. What were you saying?
No, sorry, no, I was just saying. It goes back to the story of Isaac and Abraham,
Yeah.
like we were discussed last week.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I have a feeling like that story is way more primordial than we all realize. Like, Abraham's from Ur. I feel like he represents the real old world, And I feel like these stories that we consider that are, biblical or on a biblical timeline, they really represent something that, they're analogous to what we consider to be ancient history. So even though, so the timeline supposedly, this is where the whole creationist idea of the timeline comes from, right? Is that if you actually try to trace out the story of man as it's told in the Bible, then it would only go back about 6,000 years, which doesn't match up with carbon dating, but kind of does match up with, I mean, if you go back 6,000 years, then you'll end up supposedly with, you know, the prevalent culture of the time being in Mesopotamia. And you will have had, you know, something at least at that time, according to mainstream historians there. So I feel like the Bible is giving you a timeline that you just need to kind of realize that it's telling you these same stories as these so-called ancient mythologies. And so the story of Abraham, it seems like, is telling the story of that, you know, that more ancient culture and how it kind of transformed into a monotheist culture somehow. And so, you know, this sacrifice of Abraham's son then, or the threat, you know, the idea that he had to at least proffer that. This is telling you that this is the origin of religion. This is the original sacrifice. You know, that's how I take it.
Yeah, wow. I knew if we just chose memes, something good would come of it, and now I'm so thoughtful in what you just said that I don't know what to say, but that's. Take it away, Alex. I'm sure you have better input than I do.
want to say, so you asked me how. Well, you asked me about how if we're no longer in the training phase of the NWO or whatever. I think you asked me that earlier.
Yeah.
Right?
So Tracy knows too. What I said is I felt like well, of course it started with 9/11, but just recently with the Notre Dame thing, I felt like that was another symbolic ritual. I definitely don't believe any of the press on it. It seems like they very carefully burned the top of the church off and documented it really effectively worldwide as a way to announce another phase. And what I said to Jim earlier today was that they had literally attacked it. For 9/11, they attacked the center of trade of the world. That's what I mean, literally, you know, and they collapsed it from two things and made it into one. And so now with Notre Dame, the spire falling and the church being burned up, the saints being their heads lifted off and then their bodies lifted off of the church and the gargoyles too, to me that's another symbolic gesture. Like, okay, we made it through the commerce and financial phase, and now we're moving into the religious phase. And maybe we've been playing in the sandbox between 9/11 and now, and it seems like now they're moving out of playing around, testing, theorizing, and moving into in real life action, moving the war off of the internet and into countries like Venezuela, etc. So.
No, definitely. I think you're right. I mean, we were in a liminal phase for a while there, but now things are escalating, and to me, it's just kind of amazing to me that, you know, how brazen like the leftist elite have become so forward with their with the promotion of Satanism. You know, I mean, you see it in popular culture all over the place. I mean, there's videos, people make videos about it all the time. I mean, just go to Netflix. I mean, it's all kinds of shows all about dedicated to the very subject, you know, like, you know, Sabrina, the Teenage Witch. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen that show. But
yeah.
It's all about, you know, Baphomet and Satanism and the promotion of Satanism. And I mean, it's all subliminal, you know. And then if you watched, I'm sure there's plenty of other shows. And then I think like last year there was like a show called American Horror Story. It was like all about some satanic cult in the apocalypse or something. It's like, what's going on here? Why do they keep promoting this very subject? You know? And then I see kids, like random people, just like wearing like, you know, a pro Satan shirt. It's like they're like, what's going on there? So I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've got a show called Lucifer. I watched a few episodes of that.
It's called The Continuing Adventures of Sabrina, which is chaos. The initials.
Yeah, the initials for that show, Continuing Adventures of Sabrina, is chaos. So once again, we're here. We've got the liminal, amphibious, transition. Everything is. I pointed all this stuff out to my girlfriend probably almost 2 years ago, that all of the main leading roles and themes have been inverted. You know, you've got Captain Hook as the hero, Superman as the bad guy. And it's almost every example you see that what used to be one thing is the opposite now. You know, like just those are great examples. I mean, if Superman's the bad guy, then that's really bad because it's Superman. You know, the main thing is his benevolence that saves us and protects us, right?
Even like the biggest things sort of in media right now are Game of Thrones and Infinity War. And both of them, it's like a major fight, you know, everything good against evil. It's like World War III. It's like Endgame sort of thing.
Yeah, they literally call it End. You know, so that we sure jumped away from whatever Tracy said. I'm sorry, Tracy. I'm sure that ties in somehow, but
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I had found the passage that I was looking for in that text, but it basically says exactly what I already told you. So it would kind of be redundant for me to repeat it. And I'm sorry, guys, that I've been so unpredictable here in this show. I hope to have better technology next week.
Oh no, it's fine. I'd say this show's pretty laid back, and I'm happy with it. So, and we knew when you first jumped on, you said that, you know, like, hey, I'm sitting at a restaurant, and so we anticipated that you might have to bounce around. It's our gal in the streets, Pamela Auger.
We're talking about Keck, and it's very liminal to be here, there, and everywhere.
Oh no, for real. We're literally sitting here on Beltane, invoking over and over again the names of the memes that allegedly won the election for Trump. So, you know, we're treading right out onto the ice. It's our own fault.
Well, and I did do, strangely, a show on national radio essentially about the Keck Frog. Just, I don't know, what was it, less than 2 weeks ago. You know, I was on Clyde Lewis's show talking about Clown World, which is at least the modern this year's version of it is a version of Pepe. So,
yeah. No,
have you guys covered that yet?
No, we haven't quite gotten that far yet. But I wanted to. There is one other thing I wanted to touch on first. So here, let me see if let me get back over here to it real quick. So just so you know, folks, so in my mind before I started tonight, and it wasn't much of an outline. It was more like, okay, if I'm going to be linear at all, I thought, okay, let's talk about Dat Boi, let's talk about Pepe, let's talk about the Groypers, because you see Groypers if you're trolling around the internet, and let's talk about Apu Apustaja, which is kind of like the developmentally disabled version of Pepe. But for one thing, as we were going through here, we learned just a moment ago that Apu Apustaja actually is based on a meme called Spurdo Sparty. Okay,
yeah, let's check that out.
So I know a little bit about Spurdo Sparty. Let me get him up here so people can see him. Let's see, make sure which one we want. That one. Yeah, I'm gonna make him a little bit bigger. Hold on, bear
with
me, folks. He does kind of look like a walrus, but the thing is that I know that this guy here is based on. There he is. He's based on Pedo Bear. Now, there's a meme you might not have thought about for a while, but for a few years, though, Pedo Bear was a hugely, insanely popular meme. And the whole joke was that this weird little cartoon bear was always trying to find opportunity to molest some kid at his birthday party or her birthday party or whatever, you know, like, so we could go even one more back to Pedo Bear, but I'm just going to assume that our audience is pretty savvy and that they remember and know who it is. So here we go. About Spurdo Sparty is a poorly drawn character based on the sprite image of Pedo Bear. It was originally conceived in the Finnish image board Kuvalautu to mock the newcomers who often flooded the site with hackneyed reposts, one of the main materials being images of pedo bears. So Spurdo Sparty is the reason that we have Apu Apustaja, and he's based yet again on pedo bears. So people are shit posting, making fun of new fags, as they call them on the boards, for posting too many pedo bears. So they drew a crappy version of pedo bear and to mock the newcomers over on this finish board. Character is coarsely drawn on purpose and accompanied by captions that are misspelled and stylized in all cap. The meme was born in late 2008 when an administrator on the Finnish gaming forum Jona Web posted several links redirecting the Finnish image board Kuvalatu. Due to Jonas Web's reputation as an online hub for pre-teens, some members became concerned that the image board would be overrun with unoriginal content by an influx of newcomers. This is a typical Chan story, folks, afraid of the summer fags, as they call them. A phenomenon commonly known as new faggery on the English-speaking web. Jonah Webb administrator referred to Kuvalatu as a forum where you discuss about fish and bears.
Well, that's definitely not a walrus.
And thus, the worldwide pedo bear meme was considered to be posted particularly by these users. Combination of preteen and the pedo bear meme took a great evolution in 2009 when the users started to post, ironically, by captioning the text representing an underage school kids and adding typos on text. I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to keep reading. I was trying to see if there's any good examples of Spurdo. Well, this is, let's see, is that big enough for everybody to see it there? Oh, I can't see the last one here. Let me slide the slider just a little bit. Here's kind of the evolution of from pedo bear to current day Spurdo. And if you do find a Spurdo meme out there, it's almost impossible to say. You like really have to sound it out. Like they make it, the spelling errors are pronounced. So
Yeah.
So have you guys seen much of this guy? You ever seen him around? He's not nearly as popular as these frog memes. Spurdo is.
I remember him being mentioned when Miley Cyrus came out with the weird thing, the whole, right around Wrecking Ball, right around the Blurred Lines time period. And she was doing the tongue out thing, and she had this weird suit that she wore that was, I guess it turned out to be a mouse, but for a while everybody thought it was a bear, and people thought it was pedo bear, or a reference to pedo bear.
Interesting.
That's when it got reprised for me.
Okay, yeah, and I feel like so that to me the confusion because of the vague and crappy drawing. So Jim's looking and he's seeing a walrus. They said it was something else. It's supposed to be pedo bear, so people are seeing a bear. Then Miley Cyrus is up there, and she's actually representing something else, but people are also mistaking it as pedo bear. So I feel like in my brain I'm always on the fence as to whether or not they're intentionally feeding us these things that correlate, or if it's more like waves of archonic influence. Like, is it the archons seeding this weird crap into our reality so that it turns into whatever we make it into by touching it? Like once we acknowledge that it's there, then we start to affect it happening, and that's where we're going next. Because now Pepe is a clown who says honk honk, and he's taken all of the piss and vinegar out of any of the left's talking points if you go find him on the right-wing sites. Because now instead of taking anything seriously, he just says honk honk, and he's wearing his clown wig.
Spurdo doesn't really look like anything. I mean, if you look at a happy face, it's just a circle with two dots and a little arc inside of it, and we see a face. I think we're just making they get real vague with it, and then we make all kinds of stuff out of it.
Yeah, we just start assigning personal details, and it grows into that.
Like he's got a pink orange wedge in his mouth. I guess I'm thinking it's a mouth, but it could be just his teeth or something. Maybe gums. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's really popular on the boards to make a crappier and crappier rendition of something. So this is a normal progression. It's very meta, and I consider it very Dadaist, very Dada, to take something that the original Pepe was well drawn by Matt Fury. It looked nice. Takes a lot of work to get an illustration to look that clean. And so as it digresses, to me it becomes more and more Dadaist and by default more surreal. Because you can't, like you said, is that the guy's mouth or is that an orange slice? I'm not sure. Yeah. So, all right. So Tracy, I haven't caught the recent Clyde Lewis. I'm gonna have to go find it if you jumped on there and we're talking about.
Did you
Clown
say
Pepe.
Matt Fury was the name of the creator of Pepe?
Yes.
So Matt means gift from God. So gift from God's fury.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Gift from God.
The word
Is there a
Matt.
gift from God?
The name Matt means gift from God.
No, wait, Jim, are you saying gift or gif?
I'm not sure. We'll have to
Jesus,
ask God.
please forgive me of my sins and send me another gif.
Don't squander your gifts.
Don't throw your gifts before swine. All right,
The gifts of the Spirit.
So I'll read the gifts of the Spirit. We need to make the gifts of the Spirit.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's love, joy, peace, goodness, kindness, faithfulness.
He who smelt it dealt it.
I was trying to
Just
get them
kidding,
all out
something
there. I'm slacking because I don't.
Kindness.
I'll bet Alex has them memorized. Do you remember the gifts of the Spirit off the top of your head, Alex?
No, I think it's in Galatians, right?
Yeah, I had it memorized for a while, but
It was, yeah, I know. Well, yeah, it was peace, love,
yeah,
kindness,
love, joy, peace, kindness,
yeah, I forgot.
goodness, faithfulness,
Something like that.
long suffering, and self-control. It's pretty close, but
Yeah.
anyway.
That was good.
On to Clown Pepe. So, Clown Pepe, also known as Honk Honk, is a depiction of Pepe the Frog wearing a rainbow wig and a red clown nose, which is often accompanied by jokes with corny or cringe-worthy punchlines and the emojis of a clown and a world. The globe world, that is. Meant to represent the phrase clown world. In February 2019, racist and anti-Semitic variations of the character named Honkler began appearing on 4chan's poll board. Additionally, the character is associated with the term honk pill. So that's what we're taking nowadays, folks. We're on to the honk pill, which is often described as an absurdist alternative to black pill, nihilism, allowing a person to appreciate the humor in an absurd universe, interpreting existence as a cosmic joke. So here we are, full circle back to absurdism, Dada, the Book of the Subgenius and that church, and the one that's focused on Eris, I can't think of it, Discord. So these are all one big pool of similar ideas. And I would tie that also now, because of Tracy's work, into the Marquis de Sade and the 120 Days of Sodom. You know, before I wouldn't have thought of those going together, but now as I list all those things off, that's also something behind the scenes that these people were all using as a reference point before this form of cultural subversion, whatever you want to call it, started to come into being. Because if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you haven't been following along for a few episodes, behind the scenes, the Dadaists and the Surrealists have been shown to definitely been referencing the works of the Marquis de Sade, using him as some kind of foundational work and keeping it a secret for the most part. And as well, the works of Fulcanelli, the mysterious anonymous writer, and his two main books were also printed and distributed to this same group of artists and people, bringing out this surrealist and absurdist culture that we live in it now. We're so deep in it now. It's hard to get far enough away to... You can't see the forest for the trees because everything's just honk honk.
The inside does not match the outside.
Right.
Honk honk.
So Tracy, tell us, please give us a brief update of how it went with Clyde, because I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to go find the archive now because I want to hear it now. So, oh, can you hear me? Maybe she's muted.
Can you see the nose on Hong Kong is high definition?
Yeah, it is.
Looks like a 3D nose, and the rest of him's so flat. Such an interesting juxtaposition.
All right, well, I'll just keep reading here. I'm not sure if Tracy can hear me or not. So, the exact origin of the clown-themed Pepe illustration is unclear. On July 17th, 2018, the image was uploaded as the Peppo clown Twitch emote to the Frankerface Z database. Man, that was hard to read. So, okay, they dumped it up onto Twitch. So on January 21st, 2019, Redditor Scrub Eon.
Hey, I'm on a significant delay here now.
Oh, that's no
Oh,
good.
weird. How strange.
No, I can hear you a long time ago.
Oh, weird. Alex, can you hear us still the same or not?
Yeah, I can hear you guys, but it is getting a little late here though, so I should get ready for bed and work and all that good stuff tomorrow.
Let me bounce you back over here. Everybody can see it. Everybody, it looks like Tracy's having a little bit of technical difficulties, and Alex is going to bounce out and get himself prepared to have a good night's rest. Thank you for coming and joining us, man. We really appreciate it. We're always glad to have your input, especially when it concerns memes and deep esoteric secrets. So
Yeah, thanks for popping in tonight, Alex.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I enjoyed last week's session, so I was figuring, sure, why not? I guess I'd just join you guys again.
for sure, man.
Yeah, you just keep giving us a little taste of your knowledge, so we keep wanting to have you back. So you better come back.
Yeah, and I know, I think Tracy asked me about the Queen of Sheba, and I was meaning to answer that question from last week. Can Tracy hear me? Can Tracy hear us
That's a
at
good
all?
question. Let's see.
I can now hear you.
Ooh, I can hear echo.
Yeah. Something weird's going on.
Let me get rid of the echo.
Okay. No, so I did forget to answer her question about that. So the Queen of Sheba does connect to the Sabians, and the Sabians are actually were not descendants, ancestors of the Mandaean Gnostics, by the way. So Queen of Sheba does connect to that.
To the Sabians.
Just wanted to point out. That's all.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not sure if she can hear us, but I'll make sure that she knows that. After the show or whatever. And we'll just plan to follow up, man. We'll. I see this as an ongoing process now because you're a big part of what we've been doing from the very beginning. Because you're co-author on the book that kind of started to really get a bigger picture of the Baphomet and the mystery surrounding it. So
Yeah, for sure, man. No, I had fun talking with you guys. So maybe next time I'll be more prepared. But I mean,
yeah, we're going loose tonight anyway. So it's there's the book, folks. If you don't have it, the link is probably in the description somewhere. Get a copy of that book. Alex, have a great night's sleep, man. I'll see you on the Twitters or on the Facebook DMs or whatever.
all right, man. I'll see you later.
Yep. Bye bye.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay. And I was thinking, Tracy, if it's still giving you a hassle, you could try and dump out and come back in. I just it's hard to know how much you're hearing me. How far your delay is.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you just
yeah.
fine. Are
Okay.
you, that seems like it's I guess what I would call fixed.
Audio only is.
Yeah, your camera's off, but that's fine.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was trying to do both, but it's not going to work. Furthermore, the whole night seems like a disaster to me. I wanted to show you guys these other things, but without a camera, I can't show you anything. So
Is it stuff that's
I'm
in
out of
books, or
options.
is it something that we could pull up separately, or?
Yeah, it was just gonna be some. I told you, like the old memes from the '60s, but
Oh yeah.
Maybe
anyway,
you should
yeah,
maybe you
it
could
seems
pop
like it would be
out.
way too much hassle to try to get that working.
Well, I could Google them and try and just put some on the screen, but I don't know. Then I guess you can't see them very easy.
That
Can we send her a new link?
no, the whole thing would suck. So I'm willing to give up at this point.
I see that. I wanted to get an update from you at least on how did you feel things went with Clyde, and did you go do a little bit of searching on the honk honk thing prior to jumping on there, or did Clyde do what he always does, which is like get Tracy on and like not give her enough time to do a whole organized piece?
Here's what happened. He called me and said that he wanted me to see if there was stuff in this seance we had done with Baphomet in 2014, and he wanted to see if we could. He had the feeling because he had landed on it accidentally. He had landed on a transcript that someone had posted on a Chan board. It wasn't for Chan, but it was one of these other spinoffs, and someone had been sort of live blogging the seance as we were going. So Halloween 2014, we had done a seance. I dialed it with Baphomet. We talked about, he said that there was going to be a gateway to the underworld opening up in Iraq. This was right around the time that, ISIS was first hitting the headlines. And everyone, well, I mean, it had been hitting headlines for a while, but it was when, the point at which people started realizing it was a big deal and that they were actually taking over whole countries and stuff. And so anyway, Baphomet had told us a bunch of interesting things, and some of it I think Clyde had seen as like a prediction of what had happened in Sri Lanka, because that was the most recent headline on the day that I went on Clyde's show. And this is for anyone who doesn't know, it's Ground Zero Clyde Lewis, the national radio show. It's I would say, the second largest radio show on topics of this sort, next to, the George Norrie's show. But it's got, last I heard, when I was working there, which was that year, 2014, I was working as the producer of the show, actually, and it had over 1 million listeners at the time and hundreds of affiliates. And so I know it's grown since then. It can only be bigger. Anyway, lots of listeners on this show. And so Clyde asked me to kind of reprise the whole subject because he felt like the predictions in what Baphomet had said that night foreshadowed the events in Sri Lanka. And as I looked at it, I realized that they also foreshadowed some other things because, yes, I had just seen the prevalence, the rise of the clown world meme. In particular, I had seen a video that was about, so the video that I had seen was about how a video that had come out a couple days earlier to the Notre Dame fire had predicted, prophesied that event. It was just Clown World Pepe in front of a burning cathedral.
Wow.
I don't even know if it was a cathedral. It was a burning church. But so the point is just that the internet took it as a prediction, and everyone said, "Wow, how'd you do that, man? How'd you know that this was going to happen?" To the guy that made the video. And so anyway, this was all fresh in my mind when Clyde emailed me and said, "Hey, do you want to be on the show tonight? Do you want to talk about this?" I said, I started reviewing the transcript of the seance, and one of the things that Baphomet kept talking about was the Royal Order of Jesters and Jokers.
Oh,
and he
wow.
was describing this thing in Iraq as something that they were in charge of, this portal to hell opening. And then he talked about an apple, which I realized in retrospect is this apple of chaos that started the Trojan War, the apple of Eris.
Right. Back to the
So,
Discordian symbol.
Anyway, yes, the whole the clown meme was yes, and so I talked about that.
That's crazy.
And I still kind of think that what was really crazy was that okay, so I don't know if people in the audience know anything about the Royal Order of Jesters. A lot of them probably do, just because we've been talking about it in the Discord, but and because they tend to have knowledge of things like that.
Yeah, Harrison's got a lot of details on it.
Shriner offshoot, and the Shriners are already a clown-oriented order because they already have events frequently where there's guys dressed up essentially in clown makeup with the fez on top, sometimes riding tiny bicycles or tiny little cars. And so the Royal Order of Jesters is a spinoff from there. You have to be a Shriner in order to be a Jester. And the Shriners are only made up of the top Masons in the first place. But the Jesters are all about humor. So their god is mirth, or they call him Momus. Or, Momus was the name of the Greek god of mirth, who was the son of Night, by the way, essentially Lilith. Same character. And then when the Royal Order of Jesters took on this mascot, they utilized this symbol that was already somewhat popular around the turn of the century, which was these ugly little troll-like objects called billikens. There's a guy with a short guy sitting with a smooshed face, smiling, and it really kind of looks like Momo. I think the face looks just like Momo.
Yeah, I've got a pretty shocking
name.
He's naked.
I got a pretty shocking billiken button, like a pin, like a lapel pin up on the screen now. It says stand erect, and if you're only doing audio, it looks like he's got like the RX pistol and mortar around his neck on a chain. Isn't that what that is, Jim?
That's what it looks like.
It looks like he's got a steering wheel in his hand, but I don't know what it is. He's got like a car tire around his foot.
A camera covering up his crotch area.
I don't think it's a camera. I think you're looking at the... it does look like a camera, but I think that's actually the gavel.
Is it a gap?
And then he's got a hammer and what looks to me like Tubal Cain's cane, like the Facebook without the F. Yeah.
Crossing it.
And this one says court class of 97. But yeah, and who were you saying the billiken looks like?
Momo.
I think it kind of looks like Momo. But that's significant only because that's a modern meme. It's something that Clyde had mentioned for whatever reason, and when he emailed me saying something about, I talked about Momo a couple of days ago. Maybe it ties into that. In fact, when you compare the faces, there's a similarity.
I didn't.
And plus, the god of mirth is named Momus, Momus.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The Greek god who the billiken is a embodiment of. But just to put all this in total context of what we were talking about that night in 2014 in October, we were looking at back then Iraq was fighting for every city in Iraq, to save it from ISIS. And of course, we were all hearing the horror stories. I think, for the first time, we hadn't gotten, blasé to it yet. It was fresh for the first time to hear about, the women and children just being scooped up in these towns and turned onto the international sex slave trafficking market. And, then whoever remains in these towns that's taken over, they have to not only go under this, weird and absolutely new version of Sharia law, but they are subjected to things like watching all of these people being executed and tortured in front of them. And they even would put videos of it live on giant screens in town squares for everybody to see.
Wow.
So I think that it's amazing how all this stuff happened, and then people kind of forgot about it, but
Tracy, we're getting some distortion on your microphone. I don't know. It sounds like if you just tap the cable or something, that it might fix it.
okay, is that helping?
No, it's still messing us up there. That's
Some kind of gesture somewhere. messing
yeah. Oh
with
no.
us.
I mean, I said it tongue in cheek that we're being interrupted, or we're kind of taunting the bull by coming on and talking about gods of chaos on Beltane, but that's okay. That's what we do here.
Did you say that the Discordians are related to the jesters, Tracy?
Well, I said that Baphomet had mentioned an apple in this seance, which I have taken in retrospect to be a reference to the apple of discord. And it was actually brought up at the time also during the seance, which was, live on Clyde's show, because, he kept spelling the word chaos, but he spelled it K-A-O-S, which is just how a lot of chaos magicians actually spell it. So, I didn't know what to think of this message from Baphomet at the time, and this was just sort of one of the last times I talked to Baphomet on the Ouija board. I felt like I was getting more and more kind of capricious and meaningless messages. So, I wasn't sure whether to take it serious or not, especially all the stuff about gestures and clowns. I just thought, well, okay, maybe he's just having his way with me and having fun, But having his way with me, like metaphorically, just jerking us around. But it turns out it makes a lot of sense, especially in retrospect. But at the time, I knew that ROJ, as he kept spelling out, and Joker, that this was a reference to the Royal Order of Jesters, which he confirmed, by saying yes when we guessed it. And, I knew that there was some kind of tie-in with the fact that what the Royal Order of Jesters is known for now is that there have been a lot of scandals involving their members seeking out illegal prostitution services, and also just immoral and unseemly events with prostitutes. That just seems to be the only thing they really do. And if you were to sign up for this thing, I'm sure they wouldn't mention it in the first meeting, or if you were not a member, they wouldn't mention it if you asked them about it. But they would just say, "Oh, we do members only events, usually at hotels, with ballroom events, and then more events take place in hotel rooms later on in the evening." So they wouldn't admit it straight up. But if you look at all of their jewelry and regalia and images that circulate amongst their members, you can tell that this is what it's all about. It's all about having group sex and making a big joke out of it. And usually it involves prostitutes, and they've gotten in trouble because sometimes the prostitutes were underage. Sometimes these guys will go to South America, to some hotel there. In one case, they were going on a boat and using underage prostitutes that way. And of course, all these guys are married, so at least there's, it's not even if it's not illegal, it's the sort of thing that should, in a normal society, ruin their reputation, ruin their marriage, ruin their lives. Anyway, so this is what this organization does. It's the whole purpose, as far as I can tell, is to, I guess, entertain the members in this manner. Sounds also to me like just a way of blackmailing everybody. But, if you consider that, and that's their reputation, and some of the images you guys were talking about, I can't see them from the computer I'm looking at right now, but a lot of their jewels involve a chain gang of 3 people, usually an animal on the bottom, 2 guys and an animal having sex. And I don't know why this is their their emblem, but it is.
Right. Well, that's
2 guys and a goat, or 2 guys and a pig, or
if life's a big joke, why not practice bestiality and have a laugh, right? That's the underlying message to me, is that and that's where the honk honk is going, right? Like, it's okay. Everything's really so bad that you can't even stand it. It's so horrible, and the whole world is so negative that it makes you pessimistic, nihilistic, and unhappy. So you might as well say screw it and have a laugh and do all the most horrible things with a smile on your face, because that's the world we live in. To me, that's the underlying message. Completely demoralizing, shocking, and depressing, all the way to the point where you pretend you like it and pretend it's good, right? That's the...
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the idea is that that's the only option left to people who are awake and aware of what's going on. And of course, that in clown world are largely associated with the alt-right, or the alt-white movement. Really,
Yeah, right.
It has nothing even to do at this point. Very little to do with the way I see it. Alt-right has very little to do at this point. The actual non-astroturf movement that exists, which I'm sure the whole thing was astroturfed up to begin with, but it's like, this is people reacting to the demographic realities, and it's largely, it's Western people, a lot of them white, and those that are the remainder, a lot of them are half white or partially white or married to someone who's white, and they're looking at the demographic reality of that particular group, not breeding anywhere close to the way the rest of the groups are breeding, and their physical traits also tend to be recessive. White skin, pale hair, and pale eyes. These are all things that are very easily bred out just in one generation. The prognosis just for that type of person, prevailing in the future is very dim. And there's the larger problem of, yes, there's a culture and a civilization really to go along with it. Not just the culture, just like a infrastructure of civilization that is being lost in this demographic changeover, that has all sorts of reasons behind it, but also seems to be very much, having been manipulated into the present state. So when you realize that the math is kind of undeniable, and that a point of no return has been passed for your race, the white race, I think there is a sense of despair that sets in here, and I think that this world meme, it's just like everything. It's just like Sean and I talked about MGTOW, I don't know, maybe privately a few days ago.
Yeah.
SB and I, we were talking about that. The male movement about men who have given up on women.
Yeah, it stands for men going their own way.
Where it's just like...
Yeah, in case people have never heard of it, MGTOW stands for, it's an acronym for Men Going Their Own Way. And you'll find it affiliated with men's rights movement. You'll find a lot of men having been in, or who are still stuck in, or who are coming out of really negative relationship experiences where they feel like they've gotten the shit into the stick when it comes to custody, when it comes to alimony, when it comes to abuse allegations and how they're handled. And so you'll find men's rights where men are getting together and trying to rally to even the playing field in the courts or similar areas. And then alongside of that, men going their own way, I'd say it's just what the acronym says. It's men deciding that they're going to disengage from romantic involvement in relationships with women and simply focus on trying to live something like a wholesome life outside of the fray, outside of the regular focus point. And so that ties right in with everything else you just said, that like, okay, so not only are you're white and you've got a target on your back, we're breeding you out, we're attacking you, we're making it so that it's okay to attack you but not anyone else. This is the push we see in the press. And folks, I'm not taking a side on any of this. We're all seeing it. If you're out here looking at social media and stuff, they had that huge campaign. It's okay to be white, and I see it all as canned. But
well, yeah, if you're childless, you make a better slave than a person with a family.
Yeah.
Because your priorities are, they're diverted if you have a family. If you've got no family, then it's easy to control you. A lot easier.
So where were you going with the MGTOW part? I just wanted to make sure people knew what it was, Tracy.
Where I was going with it is just comparing it in terms of something that is, I feel, cooked up in a CIA laboratory and injected into an already demoralized population to give them some identity to cling to as they're giving up. And that's the thing. Okay, if you can't make it cool and acceptable in your own mind to live with this reality of defeatism, then you're gonna eventually go in search of what you know that you want. So like a heterosexual man not embracing that philosophy will be depressed for a little while and then go out and try it again, or try something else that is still trying to fulfill the same need. And a white person who feels demoralized, especially if they come to this realization, as I was just mentioning, that the numbers are very bad for our people, and even if you're not even totally in that camp, even if you're just partially white or related to someone who is, still doesn't feel good to see the whole thing going away within your lifetime. Perhaps maybe they'll still exist on Earth, but the culture and civilization, the numbers are looking bad right now for that even existing within our lifetimes.
Exactly. And it's another inversion.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I see it is the message they're sending is, if you identify yourself as a white person or even as partially a white person, your time in the barrel is next. It's your turn to be the one to suffer and be underfoot. Whereas, the way they portray it is that there's this other huge conglomeration of people that they call people of color, which, that doesn't really work to shove them all into one category, but that's what they do. And they're saying, okay, we're going to trade your guys' places. White people's not really a very good title either. There's a lot more nuance to the idea of what all of our heritages, cultures, and DNA all mean. It can't be defined as, oh, those people are white and these people are black, or those are people of color and this is the white race. But that's what they've fed us as long as we can remember. They told us, you guys are the white folks. These are the other folks. They're either people of color or they're the black folks. And they've got us assigning ourselves values and then changing those values through the process we're seeing with this clown world meme, and like you said, Tracy, with all this other stuff. They're just like, okay, it's your turn to have a target on your back or right in the middle of your face,
And yeah, so this gives you something where you might want to fight that or take a stand on it or something. You're if you've had your identity torn away from you in a way where you're embarrassed to talk about you're embarrassed to be white, right? Or you're embarrassed to be what you are. And then you're also told you're going to even be stamped out of existence within your lifetime, people like you are. And it's just going to get worse and worse for you and people like you, which is a very, as this may seem not real to us, although it is happening to us here in the United States. But I mean, just think about what it's been like for white people in maybe South Africa, where it's not a metaphor at all. And it's not something that's on the horizon. They've already been through it for, over a generation now. That's literally what happened. So, and continues to happen to them. But anyway, it's demoralizing, and it doesn't give you an identity. unless you want to have the identity of, Hitler in the bunker. Well, we all know what Hitler did at the end, supposedly, right?
Right.
So, but if you want to have what you consider an identity and you need to cop an attitude about it, right? You need to have whatever your stance is. So they're providing you a stance.
Yeah.
And the stance is nihilism and thinking that it's kind of funny to watch everything crumble to the ground and, blame minorities while you're at it, because it's pretty soon you're going to be the minority. So let's all, run around making fun of how people do things,
Right.
the way people are, the way different people are.
Yeah, and I follow a whole bunch of different variety of things all over social media because I don't want to create a perfectly curated echo chamber for myself. So I try and keep some feelers out in all the various ponds that I can stand. Sometimes I'll try and follow something and unfollow it and go back and do that a few times because some of it's really hard content to put up with, especially really complaining or negative content. But I definitely have noticed in a few groups that it's working to really to first mobilize and activate all the people that identify themselves as white men. I don't know if you've ever heard of or seen Kurt Doolittle, but his name pops up a lot. He kind of has a pretty ultra-logical, really language-focused view of how and why things can be explained in a certain way. And he even kind of has like a post-revolutionary plan in his writing. He's a pretty intellectual guy. But it's working to make, they've got all the white guys grabbing for their guns thinking that it's Armageddon and it's almost time to fight. And they've all, a lot of them feel like they've been waiting anyway. Like you've already attacked their Protestant Christianity and their sports and their favorite foods and beverages and all of their behaviors. They've all been presented in sitcoms and in commercials and in other contexts as being stupid, not very strong, not very likable, not very trustworthy. All these things are constantly being applied to the straw man of a white male. And now I see them rolling that over one step even farther, like, okay, now have a laugh about it too. Now be at ease with the fact that, yeah, you're ready to grab your gun, you're ready for Civil War, honk honk, let's have a laugh. And so that combined with all the stuff we were talking about with the church being, another symbol of the whole fight we're describing, the idea that Notre Dame and all the churches are being attacked. That's when I think of a white guy, the main thing I think of is some Catholic that doesn't go to church or some Protestant that doesn't go to church. That's.
Yeah. So, are you familiar with the term "revolt against the modern world"?
No.
Okay, so I've seen Paul Joseph Watson using this, and a couple other people, particularly in the context of the Clown World meme. But I recognized it as soon as I saw it because it's the name of a book by Julius Evola, who was a traditionalist writer during fascist times, during Hitlerian times.
Okay.
And so he wrote a bunch of books that were about mythology and the interpretation of them, kind of from that context or from that mindset, but they also stand apart, where like the book that he wrote about the mystery of the Grail, it's just called The Mystery of the Grail. It's a very useful book for, analyzing the meaning of the Grail mythos. And he even writes about it, basically representing a holy bloodline. So anyway, but yeah, he wrote a book called Revolt Against the Modern World, which was just, him complaining about the direction that things were going in and wishing that people would hold on to some tradition of the old world, the old European world, even though he himself was kind of skeptical of the origins of it. He still felt like the the traditions, even though they've come down to us imperfectly, we need to cling to them to have something. So anyway, it's kind of interesting that this particular phrase is being rolled out. I haven't seen a single person comment about it and say, "Oh, you're quoting Ebola," and why, or no discussion of it whatsoever. So Paul Joseph Watson has never explained, as far as I know, why he's bringing this out.
Have you seen more guys than just Paul Joseph Watson? He's still with InfoWars, right?
He's still with InfoWars, but my understanding is that he's recently rolled out his own enterprise that wants to be seen as separate, and he and Alex Jones even did an interview where they talked about that, about how he was it was so patronizing. Alex was like, well, I guess it's time for you to grow up and go your own way. And I think Paul Joseph Watson is probably like almost 40 now.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know how old he is, but
what a hilariously strange. I might have to go find that clip somewhere. How weird.
Oh, it was so funny.
'Cause
he looks all uncomfortable. Good.
I'll bet. Okay, are you able to see our screen now or not, Tracy? I don't know if you can. Because there's one book cover here I want you to be able to see that looks like we might need to see if we can find this. There's a book I found while we were talking, folks. It's got the Royal Order of Jesters in silhouette with vampire teeth on the cover. And it says, Vampires of Charity, Secret Societies, and Human Trafficking at Taxpayer Expense. And the artist is Sandy Frost with a big adult content warning. So, I mean, to me that's like, okay, so either this lady's a shill doing damage control for these very people by writing this book, or maybe she's got some stuff in here that we actually can reference to everything else we've been doing and give an even more ominous update. Because in the Discord, Harrison's always posting stuff about clowns, Royal Order of Jesters, how they represent demons, how they're symbolic of pure evil. And I never really looked into them. I always had the weird feeling of clowns. I've always thought clowns are kind of weird, but I didn't realize they were literally stemming from demonic influence. Well,
there's a really interesting YouTube video that I came across this week too, where it was probably the day after I did that interview on Clyde's show. So this person is doing what he calls the metaphysics of clown world. He did a 30-minute video about it. And it was interesting because he started with the Feast of Fools and the Feast of the Ass, all of these, Saturnalia type rituals that people in the church used to do that were never really officially approved of by the church, but they would do them nonetheless until they were finally stopped. And it seems like it's a leftover of pagan years, if you believe traditional chronology. And it's also, it's a inversion of everything. It's like, I guess what I was going to compare it to is a black mass in a way. It's like, just as a black mass is the actual inversion of the Christian mass. But usually a black mass is kind of done with hateful ends in mind. But these other masses were just done for the fun of it, supposedly, right? But they ended up kind of doing the same sort of thing of inverting and then desecrating the Christian mass elements. But trying to find this.
So what?
The name of this guy who made this video. But what's interesting about it too is just that it came up when it did, because those feasts that I just described, those quasi-Christian feasts, were discussed by Fulcanelli when he was describing, in the Mystery of the Cathedrals, he was describing the sort of importance that cathedrals had to Europeans back in the day, where, even if they weren't particularly devout in terms of literally believing, the stories that they were told in church, still they would, use the church as their meeting grounds for all sorts of public events. And it was a, important part of the culture and society. And then these feasts, like the Feast of the Ass, which is, I guess, takes place to celebrate the journey the flight into Egypt, with Joseph and Mary and kid Jesus. And then the Feast of Fools is, oddly enough, that's on the day that they celebrate the circumcision of Jesus. So I think that's interesting for a separate reason, just because the liberty cap that they would wear during the Feast of Fools, some people think that it represents a discarded foreskin. So
the Mithraic cap
celebrate
actually
that.
could be the foreskin. Wow. Wow.
But anyway, these festivals supposedly were full of symbolism that would only be understood by alchemical initiates, according to Fulcanelli, just like a lot of the symbols on the inside of Notre Dame Church and other medieval cathedrals, Gothic cathedrals in Europe. So, it's interesting that we've got the Clown World meme coming up around the time that this church has burned, and it apparently is not coming back in the original condition. They're going to modernize, and I don't know. I've already heard that they're going to get rid of whatever they consider to be racist statues. They're not going to be recreating them, so that should be interesting.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I just found, I don't know if you can see the screen or not, but I typed in Feast of the Ass and went to image search, and this appears to be a donkey getting ready to rape a jester, to me. I don't know if you're seeing that. I could try and make it a little bit bigger if you can see it.
I don't see anything right now.
Maybe you're delayed and it's just gonna catch up here. I'm gonna try and make the picture just a little bit bigger and see if and if it won't come up, Tracy, I can always pop the link to you so that we don't lose this, because a lot of the time when we're talking, I'll just go to the Google image search and kind of use it like bibliomancy, use Googlemancy, ask the oracle. What is because I've never even heard of these feasts, the Feast of Fools and the Feast of the Ass were the two, and you said these are kind of like not approved, they're more like pagan feast or festival, but they were still performed in the church and never really considered part of the official liturgy.
Yes. And, so I found the video. Metaphysics of Clown World is done by this guy, Jonathan Pageau.
Yeah, Pageau. Yeah, we were talking about him earlier. Okay.
Okay.
He's talked to Jordan Peterson a lot. He's dealt with symbolism in movies. He's Orthodox Christian, and he's also an excellent sculptor. He, if you follow his YouTube and go look at it, he sculpts icons out of wood, and they're just beautiful. So he's an excellent sculptor. I said to Alex when he was still here that he's kind of like what we do, only in a really light sense usually, He's not trying to go off the deep end and really dig into the darker sides of this stuff. Not that I've seen. I'm not saying that he's unwilling. His content is a lot more mainstream, presentable. He's friends with Jordan Peterson. So yeah,
cool,
I'll definitely have to follow it. Check that out.
I put the link to it in the chat here.
Awesome.
I'm going to have to get going here, guys.
Yeah, we're almost to the end of the show here anyway. I think we're gonna call that memes on Beltane. I think we're good. I really appreciate you struggling to stick with us tonight, Tracy. We could have gone on without you, but we never want to do that. We always want you available when you're willing to make time for us.
Yeah,
and,
we appreciate you coming back, even though it was rough.
Yeah, I mean,
For you.
I understand. People just watching might not
Thanks
think
for
about
tolerating me, guys.
it. But no, I mean,
No.
we really appreciate it. You bounced 3 or
Yeah.
4 places and really worked hard to struggle
Yes.
against the technology,
That's-
and we appreciate it. So
That's what I meant.
I'm going to go ahead and just call this a show. Look, folks, tune in next week. We don't know what's planned, but it's going to be good. There's actually, you know, Tracy, if you want to go, it's okay. And I'm going to show them the merch page that you made before we say okay, bye. Because I want people to be able to see that and
Oh,
have an
yeah.
opportunity to spend some of their money to get some cool PlusUltra Club merchandise. So
Did you put it on the in the description?
it's I'm going to paste it into the description right now.
We're gonna paste this in the description. It's
Fade this
amazing,
over.
beautiful stuff.
So Tracy did this today for all you wonderful folks out there and for all of us. I'm going to go to... Oh, no, that won't work. It's going to be just like that. Make it a little smaller. Let me shrink it down so you can see more of the merchandise. It's a whole bunch of really cool PlusUltra and what I would call Twyman-esque stuff. And she's added it to a pretty large variety of products here.
We got some people asking for music before we go.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, well, I will play one song.
Will you
before
play
we
a
go
song
to,
for
yeah.
us?
Yeah, I'll play
Awesome. Thank you.
one song. I don't know. Are you still here, Tracy, or not?
I'm here.
Okay, if you want us to let you go and then continue without you, that's okay. I'm not trying to hold you up.
All right. Well, I'll say okay, bye then.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Okay,
Okay, bye.
All
Thanks,
right.
Tracy.
Mhm.
All right, so here we are on the merch page. I wonder which page we're on. But yeah, Tracy surprised us with this morning. Latest products. So if you let me see it, I'm gonna drop this in the chat so people can. Let me get this. Scoop my chair up here. Take a bite of a cupcake. Phew. Ding, ding, ding. Bring that bell.
Ding a ding ding.
Thank you. All of those sounds you hear are a symbol that you're getting ready to be mesmerized, hypnotized, told, like all good Americans, to reach deep into your pocket, into your wallet, and buy merchandise that will satisfy you. Once it arrives as a package in your mailbox or leaning against your front door, and you open it and are holding it in your hands, you'll be so happy with your brand new PlusUltra Club guitar pick, wristwatch, t-shirt, handbag, decoder ring, and of course, lamps and floor mats. That's at least some of the items here. I guess I'm supposed to, I said I was going to paste this in the chat. I should probably do that. I already ordered 2 items, so you'll be seeing them in my hands here pretty soon. I ordered myself a black and white PlusUltra trucker hat. And I also ordered a magnet that says, "It's John D's world, you're just living in it." Ain't that the truth, folks? So let me get this, trying to get to where I can post me something here. All right, I'm going to say 3, 2, 1. Bye, 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 bye. Oh, that went by pretty fast. Now I remember when your chat's moving pretty fast, you got to hammer the links in there. Like that. There, that should give them to you. Oh, that was too many. Hold on. Slow down, scene. What'd I do? What in the world? I'm so confused sometimes by the difference between hotkeys on Apple versus, I almost said versus regular. I use hotkeys that I've memorized over the years from being a PC user, and we are using a Macintosh computer, so then the whole thing flies away. So, all right, let's get back to that page and we can list some of these products. Bill Schnoblin, remember that guy? What? what is our audience seeing? They're seeing this. That should be it. Okay, here we are. So you'll notice here at the top, folks, there's some strange products. Like this puzzle, that's a puzzle of a rejection notice. This T-shirt is a warning that the brand new Zazzle account that Tracy created has already been flagged for one of its products and has already been put in a limited state because of that. And what happened was one of our memes, I think it was a meme that Tracy made herself, was it said, "Q sent me to this Q," and it was spelled Q-U-E, like lining up. It's pretty common in Britain, Great Britain, to use the word Q instead of line. In the United States, we stand in line, but in Britain, they queue. And so the pun and the joke is that QAnon sent me to line up, like Q sent me to this Q. Well, apparently the AI settings on this Zazzle product site where you can get on-demand printing and products made is they've got the AIs trolling and crawling, looking for any reference to QAnon, and if it's there, they'll flag it for review and review it and decide yes or no. And in Tracy's case with this brand new product line, they decided no. They flagged down the silly Q sent me to this Q shirt that she'd made. And so in response to them knocking it down, I think that's what made Tracy decide to make some of these interesting new products. A puzzle that includes all the pieces to build your very own rejection notice. And I can't really see the text on the limited state t-shirt, but I assume it's dealing with the same kind of thing. A limited state tote. You know what? I'm going to buy one of those and send it to Tracy, because I know she wants that limited state tote. But moving on from that, so if you land on this page, the reason those are kind of different. Those are a little bit more far out products, but you can see here we've got PlusUltra, the More Beyond ring. Let's see how big it looks for you guys. That's about right. We've got the More Beyond watch. We've got the PlusUltra guitar pick coming in at $15.40 each. So I'm totally excited for somebody to buy me one of those so I can play with it. Actually, please don't. We can get a whole run made for that price of probably 500 picks or something. Moving down. We've got the Cash on the Barrelhead lamp. Oh, that's a little bit of foreshadowing for you, Jim. All right. Where's the... I don't know why the lamp is not... It's not doing a very good job of showing... There we go. There's the pictures. Make sure you guys are seeing those. Yeah. So here's an ancient picture, and Tracy has added the text, Cash on the Barrelhead sun, and this goes all the way around the lampshade. So... Like I said, I already ordered some products, so if you want to catch up with me, you have to order a minimum of 2. If you want to get past me in the product ordering competition that started early this morning, then you're going to have to order a minimum of 3. I got this John D magnet. It's already ordered and on its way to my house, folks. It's John D's World. You just live in it. I think it's the truth. John D. and Philip K. Dick sitting in the third or fourth heaven and just slapping their knees and laughing, and they trade back and forth the Pepe clown wig mask and point at each other and laugh. And you think that's real or?
Yeah, probably.
Gee whizzikers. See what else here? We've got the stove off light switch plate. Oh, nice light switch plates. I love those things.
Oh yeah.
What's that? What is that? We own your imagination lamp. Oh, okay, another lamp. This looks like a different style of lamp
That's
than the first
awesome.
one. I really love this Empire Never Ended floor mat. That's the babes suckling the teats of... Oh, what is it? What god is that, Jim?
It's Romulus and Remus.
Thank
and,
you. No, that's good enough. Romulus and Remus, that's...
Italy, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
The Empire Never
Founders
Ended.
of Rome, right?
Yeah, so we can you just click on View All Products, and I know there's at least a few more than what we've seen so far. Oh, we've got the Hillary Babylon mug. I wonder what picture she put up there. You know, we got to thank Tracy 1,001 times for all the hard work that she puts in every single week, every single day. She slapped all this together. I don't know how long it took her. And it looks like that's probably the Toth Deck Whore of Babylon meme. It's not quite big enough to fully see, but it's a cool mug. I love that. You know, and back in the day, I'd say I would drink some beer out of that, but now I just pour it full of kombucha and call it good. Oh, a stamp, Jim. I'm ordering that too. That was not on here before.
There's a wine label?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
PlusUltra Club logo stamp. $10.65 each.
We own your imagination pen.
Let us know,
Gotta
folks, if
have
there's
one.
any of these products that you're absolutely in love with. You could guarantee us a set order as a group. We want to go in together. We want to get 50. We want to get 100. We like them enough. We're definitely going to be able to work with 500. You tell us, and we will source it out so we can make a full-blown order. We'll pay the money or collect it up front and then distribute. You know, we don't have to pay these high prices, but this is a way to get it on display. It's all for sale. You can buy it. I bought this hat right here, only I bought it. I went through here. I'll show you right now how this works.
Did you give them the code?
I didn't. I forgot to enter the discount code, but that's okay because to me, to buy our own products at full price is excellent.
Yeah,
it's
you got
fine.
You got to support the system.
So
System of awesome.
But there is a discount code. So I mean, if you want this, it'll be it's Gone Be Maze. All one word, ITSGONBEMAYZ. It's Gone Be Maze.
It's Gone Be
discount
Maze.
code. And this is the hat that I bought. You'll be seeing this on my head before the end of this month.
It's a beautiful hat.
Yeah, it looks great, and I'll be very happy to wear that.
I want one too now.
I was pretty close to buying that pink one right there.
Well, the pink one's beautiful.
This yellow one's just terrible.
Whoa, I love the yellow.
It's just, it's just terrible.
It's awesome.
In a good way, don't get me wrong. It's, let's see, there was one.
Ooh, burgundy.
The one that she chose for the default is good. I kind of like the
that's patriotic.
red, white, blue, and black. You know, that's good. And
It's
seemed
like
like
the
there
Olympics.
was one more. This is really up my alley. That's kind of my style.
How much is the hat?
The hat's $17.25.
Well,
So really, that's
great
cheaper
deal.
than the hat I'm wearing. This
Yeah.
hat I'm wearing, is now on the floor and has some extra dog hair added to it.
$25 hat, probably, right?
Absolutely, yeah. These are Gorin Brother hats. Gorin Brothers are really high quality, expensive hats.
This one, you might recognize my squirrel hat.
What does it say?
This one says pecker, and it's got a woodpecker on it.
Oh, woodpecker.
Let's continue.
Because you love birds.
I do love birds. I know where there's some birds right
Birds. They're all sleeping.
now. Oh, this is, I didn't,
Got some
man,
birds.
I might end up spending a bunch of money on hats. Oh yeah, that's great. I would be so excited to meet this guy.
What does the hat say?
It's the main wallpaper meme of the website.
Oh, yeah.
You see it there? It's the big PlusUltra
Plus
collage.
Ultra Club.
The beautiful PlusUltra Club collage that Tracy made.
I love it. It's a great hat.
Tracy is a meme master lurking in the shadows. I don't know how she finds time to do it.
Mean mistress.
She crushes out her vape pen and just cracks her knuckles and gets to work. I don't know anything about Tracy smoking a vape pen. That was just a metaphor, folks.
Is there a skateboard?
Yeah, skateboard. You can get a skate deck.
Whoa.
For just under $200, you can customize your skate deck with the PlusUltra
Made by
Club
Zazzle.
collage.
Can you click on that for me?
Yeah. So here we go. It says PlusUltra Picture Show skateboard.
I'm trading in my wheels for 2 of those skateboards. I have a left foot and a right foot. I'll just scooter right on down the road.
You mean you're going to use it indefinitely?
Indefinitely.
Like Alex Jones's great grandpa.
I'll roller skate into the world with it. But not like Alex Jones' grandpa.
No? If you've been watching the Owen Benjamin, folks, then that's an inside joke. If you don't understand what we're talking about, you need to go to Owen Benjamin's last broadcast. Check it out, because he tells some jokes about Alex Jones and his grandpa, great-grandpa, that are really funny. But even more importantly than that, he opens a secret special wax-dipped cardboard tube that I mailed him full of letters and money, a little bit of money, and some memes. And he shouts us out. And he didn't turn it over and read the small handwritten message on the back, so he didn't actually say the name of the show. I was kind of disappointed in my own process. I got the stuff in front of him. I waited patiently until he got it and read it, but I could have been a little bit less verbose and done more to self-promote, but that's okay.
I think you might have picked up some subscribers, though.
I did. I picked up a few subscribers, and I got some compliments on my Flat Earth song.
There were some people in the chat that came here via Owen Benjamin tonight.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, if they're still here, welcome. Here's I have a baby hat. I was trying to enlarge that so I could see the... I can't
What does
really...
that say? I have a baby?
It's a... Yeah.
I have baby.
Oh, I have baby.
You...
I don't know. I've never seen this image till just now. Have you?
Can you go up to the view up there in the...
Oh, here, I can do it this way. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. I have baby. You want?
Is that what it says?
Yeah,
you
it
want?
says you want.
Did they see that? So, yeah.
That's the ultimate sacrifice, you guys.
If you'd like to wear this PlusUltra Club hat with some kind of ancient artwork with the added speech bubble that this woman is offering to sell her baby, then I assume it's the same price as the other one, $17.
Well, $17.75. That's a minimum sacrifice.
It is. That's a very low price to pay.
baby
Plus,
hat.
don't forget you can add "It's Gone Be Maze"
15% off.
15% off. And
That's
it
a
doesn't.
coupon code.
I think that coupon code's going to be good for a while. I don't think it's going away in a big hurry. So
It's
I'd
gone.
say no rush,
Remains.
but the rush is that you want to hold these items in your hand. You want to unpackage them at your house. And this is just the very beginning of us all getting together and making so much awesome stuff that, well, hopefully so that all this garbage you see behind me usually all turns into available
stuff.
merchandise. That's right. I do love that guitar pick.
It's a beautiful guitar pick.
And that's Tracy's design. This
Genuflect?
Yes, this image is from the book Genuflect, and it's a seal and a sigil on a door that opens into a secret place. And if you don't know the secret place, well, this is the part where we're pitching you to buy. Hold on.
I think it's a secret place. It could be in
Oh,
reality.
it's not in here.
A real
That's right.
place.
It was sitting here.
Perhaps.
Oh, yes, it is. Dun, dun, dun. Ah!
Oh, it's all right.
Yeah, it's. Let me get really excited in my pretending to be a salesman. I'm not pretending. You guys all know that. Don't worry.
Genuflect.
Don't worry. I'm only pretending to sell you this book. See, this is Jem's copy.
It's backwards.
My copy's at home.
Backwards in Zoom.
Oh, well, is yours backwards too? Take it over to your camera.
Backwards. But mine's
This
tiny.
is Jim's copy. I read the book in digital format. I haven't read it this way. Is it backwards on yours too? or
no,
not?
but it's dark in mine.
Oh,
Just
I see.
turn it
Well,
around.
here, hold on. Let's have a little fun. Looks like we're running late instead of ending early because now this is like old-fashioned picture show. When it was just me and Jem. Oh, those lonely days.
It was.
So hold it back
they
up.
were great days.
Hold it back up to your camera. This to your camera.
Oh, my camera, huh?
This is Tracy's only fictional work so far.
Genuflect by Tracy R. Twyman. It's a terrific book, and it appears to actually be manifesting into reality.
Bow
So-
down to the newborn sun.
That's right. There he is.
Nice work with the camera.
Thank you. Oh, we've got a pig over here. I'm going to stuff some money in it before we go. So we got to sing a song. I don't know. We'll look
Definitely
at
barely fiction.
look at if it is. Is that what the chat said?
That's what Harrison says.
That is that's once again that's excellent copywriting.
barely
Fiction by Tracy R. Twyman. If you go and listen to the interviews promoting and leading up to the book, Tracy describes it as being like almost a free flow divination and or inspiration process. If I remember right, she even said that like it was like not needing any tools, like not needing a Ouija board, not needing anything. Just trying to. Okay,
Baphomet, the temple mess.
Sorry, I was trying to get you back to more product here, folks. Oh, the Quafa visor. Check that out, Jim. I need that.
Visor?
I need to buy that to go play poker.
I would advise for it. I
So you
would
can
not
see, I'm
advise
just gonna
against it.
scroll through here. There's the skate deck again. Oh, there's a nice picture show meme on
It looks like a frisbee.
vitamin T-shirt.
I'd like a John D. frisbee.
That one's a button. I didn't realize there was a button. I would have bought that instead of the magnet. Dang it. That's okay. That's okay.
Wait, go back up. Vitamin T shirt?
Yeah. Isn't that your meme? No, I think that was Tracy's
that's
too.
Tracy's. That's a great idea for a shirt. Vitamin T.
Yeah.
Take your vitamin T. Even now with chemtrails and flat Earth, you need to take your vitamin T.
Let me make sure. Who can we? This looks good. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
So I just love this. This is like the height of memery for our show, in my opinion. Like
That was straight out of our meme area in the Discord. This one was, yeah.
I thought Tracy did this one too.
Straight out of the meme area in the Discord.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
guys should get over to the Discord if you're not there.
Yeah, the Discord's still free. You know, you should think
Still free.
think about that. You know, the one that's similar to this. That's what's going to inspire tonight's musical request
The
or
stove reminder
answer
clock.
to the request. Ooh, what's this? What's it say? Oh, graduation cap topper.
Awesome.
If you're graduating, if you're listening to this show now live, or if you're hearing it after it's been aired and you're heading up to your graduation of any kind that you can verify to me, I will buy this thing and send it to you as long as you agree to document your process of graduating with this on your hat.
If you're getting your diploma, the most expensive school is the School of Hard Knocks.
That's right. I will totally help you get this thing onto your hat if you're graduating. That's an offer I'm making to students.
That's a great deal, SB.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
I like this bright pink watch. This inspires me to consult with Ridge Marketing and Chris Johnson. They call him Nappy Boy on Twitter. His marketing is pretty compelling. It makes me want to have him help me design a beautiful, awesome PlusUltra Club watch. And you know, they'd probably be more like $150 or $200 or something. But... And there you can see the... Let's see if this blows up bigger. I like that Tracy made her own kind of passive-aggressive, subtle protest against the fact that the Q meme... So there you go.
definitely.
There's a t-shirt that says, limited features for certain videos. So maybe this is from something... This is from YouTube. YouTube help. This is a great shirt.
Yeah, it's a beautiful literary...
And it is. This happens to E. Michael Jones all the time, folks. If you try and follow him on YouTube, the video will pop up, it'll be there, and it won't be an hour later, and they're like, oh, he's talking about Jews again. Whoa, make it so nobody really sees that one very much. And they knock it down so that it's limited. And it's really stupid and screwy because what they do is they warn you like, hey, we think this one's kind of dangerous, right? There's dangerous stuff in here. And you never turn it on and it's like, they're like, we should get the machine guns and shoot to kill. No one's ever saying that when you click on these videos. It's always just them like reading or talking about things you can find in books. That's books that are in libraries all over the United States, not like only at neo-Nazi libraries or something, you know. And they make it so that you almost accidentally click out of it because it's almost like when you go to a website and it says, ooh, be careful, that one might have viruses, and it doesn't really give you a choice, and it says back to safety, right? There's a button that says back to safety now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same way, like, oh, watch out, the little box stays up on the screen. It says this video is limited, here's why, and then it says, it doesn't say like, okay, so that you can click it and make it go away. The dialog box remains open, and what you do naturally is you want to click the button to the right, and if you click that, it dumps you off the video. Like, this is really dangerous. Bad, bad, bad.
It's like your car insurance is almost up, but if you talk to us, we'll extend it for you on the phone.
Yeah.
Don't do that. It's a scam. Like Nigerian princes.
So, there's me.
Just saying.
It's not really what I meant to do. I think I guess that's probably where I'm headed. That's why I put myself there, because I realize I've foolishly said to myself this afternoon, I'm going to play a song, at least one song
Yeah,
every
wait
show.
for the song.
And you must have told on me. Who's requesting songs?
Snake Jones asked for a song.
Oh, Snake Jones. You know the Snake Jones is a friend of mine. I'm going to have to, don't let me forget to consult with Mr. Adam Lore about whether or not we can, if he's still doing the good old theme songs. Or at least something. He did a lot of really good theme songs. Alright, so. I'll get myself. I'm going to shrink myself down so you can see me. I'm going to have to turn some of this over to my friend Jem. How small should I make
I
myself?
want you, make yourself the full screen.
I'm going to.
SB.
I'm going to do it like that, right?
All right, yeah.
So, I'm going to turn the helm over to you. And I guess I'm going to need to be able to see that screen there, too. So you're going to have
this
to...
one, huh?
Yeah, you're going to need to put that where I can get to
There
it.
you go.
If you were paying attention to class today, we covered a litany of memes. And one of those memes had the title to a song on it. Ironically, this song is inspired because of a meme that Tracy made, but I actually learned and knew this song, had this song memorized at one point in time. I currently do not, so I'm going to use the chords and the words up on the screen as a reference. As soon as I get a guitar pick out of my pocket. I tuned this thing up earlier, so it should be pretty good.
You guys can follow along by reading SB's lips as he sings, listening to the guitar.
It's, boomed out, as they say. We need to put some boom on the microphone. Boom.
Boom!
So I'm gonna try and make this just a little bigger because I'm having to squint. I'm taking over the mouse for just a second here, Jim.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can go.
Wanna
If
make
you
it big?
push the Apple button and
Make
yeah,
it
you can
big.
do it that way. Just go up one and see what happens.
Can you see it?
Yeah, that should work. Let's get this up one more time. The name of the song is Cash on the Barrelhead, and it's made famous and probably written by the Louvon brothers. Now, you might be familiar with the Louvon brothers because they're most famous for a strange gospel song called Satan is Real. Now, that song became really popular when Hank Williams III used it as just a small, less than a minute intro piece to one of his albums. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got in a little trouble. Had to count a seat. Lord, they put me in the jailhouse for loafing on the street. When the judge heard the verdict, I was a guilty man. Said $45 for 30 days in the can. That'll be cash on the barrelhead, son. You can make your choice, you're 21. No money down, no credit plan. No time to chase you, 'cause I'm a busy man. Found a telephone number on a laundry slip. Had a good-hearted jailer with a 6-gun hit. He let me call long distance. She said, number please. No sooner than I told her, shouted out at me. That'd be cash on the barrelhead, son. Not part, not half, but the entire sum. No money down, no credit plan. 'Cause a little bird tells me you're traveling man. 30 days in the jailhouse, 4 days on the road. I was feeling mighty hungry, my feet a heavy load. Saw a Greyhound coming in. I stuck out my thumb. Just as I was being seated, the driver caught my arm. What'd he say, Jim? Said, that'd be cash on the Barrelhead, son. This old great dog is paid to run. When the engine stops and the wheels won't roll, give me cash on the Barrelhead, take you down the road. One more time on the last. That'd be cash on the Barrelhead, son. This old gray dog gets paid to run. When engine stops and the wheels won't roll, give me cash on the Barrelhead, I'll take you down the road. Thank you very much. And this is the point that draws us much closer to a duet of okay buys. I know in the chat you're saying one more, but no, it's only one song a week. Sorry.
Thank you guys for tuning in again. Happy Beltane.
Yeah, the veil was thin, so also was our formatting and preparation.
We got lots of applause in the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
guys.
and I'm going to try and get at least one of those pumped out each week. If you let me forget, I'm going to consider that a week off. So,
Don't let this man retire early. He needs to keep on playing.
And so I'm going to...
No weeks off.
I'm going to, right now while we're still on the air, so I don't forget, I'm going to go back to that link. I'm going to go back over here to YouTube
one more
real quick.
time, huh?
Well, I'm going to drop it in the chat here. Merch for sale. It's in there. Good. I just wanted to make sure. So follow us up with us in the Discord, on the Twitter. I'm on Facebook. You can find me over there. Boy, I don't think we don't have a picture show email yet. We're out here. We're not hiding.
There is a Patreon.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, there's a Patreon. If you are really impressed with my song, you can always toss me a one-time $11 donation. If you really love what we're doing, you can currently sign up for, I think it's $2 a month.
$2 a month.
And by the time you're catching
like-
this on the reruns, there's also going to be an option for $22 a month for you big spenders, you wealthy Groypers out there. We may not fully support your political or ethnic positions, but we'll take your money. So
and then we'll support it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good job. All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. I was testing out you can always test dead air at the end of the show. You don't want it right at the beginning.
Dead air.
Yeah. Dead air. All right. We got to shut up. That's it, folks. I'm going over here to the button that says stop streaming and okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. See you next week.
Okay.